right, hello, people of the internet here for Digital Athlete League. Welcome back to what is week 7, I believe the final week in the regular season for this season of Digital Athlete League, which means that after this week, half the teams from both groups will be eliminated, and we'll be going straight into the playoffs, which will be a big old crunch time getting us down to the grand finals. And yeah, let me introduce Hans, who you may or may not know if you're a regular around here.
I think people do know me, but I do appreciate the introduction. So tonight, our playing, you know what, let me take us this little scene right here. Team Mystic Academy and Cursed Ascension, as I'm typing this into the lobby settings. If we were to run this by pretty quickly, because we're technically like 10 minutes late already, the map ban has been decided. Let's have a bigger, grander, better view as it takes a bit of time to load. We are going to be playing first and foremost Argon and Villa. Should a tiebreaker be needed, well then we'd be jumping into Clubhouse. I gotta say, this is a staple of Rainbow Six Siege. I wouldn't have expected it any other way. If we were to see Bank and Coastline and Cafe like back to back to back, that would have been off-putting. What we're saying right now, not so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Oregon, very, very standard. As is Clubhouse as the decider. Very standard for deciders because it can really go either way, attacker or defender. Villa was initially defender side. It has been for a while. I think the meta's kind of shifted now as people have figured it out. But we'll still err on the side of caution and assume it's going to be a bit defender-sided. And so you can see which teams are attacking and defending first on each. So maybe on Villa they'll at least get a bit of an advantage there. But it is of note that this game is of special importance for those of you that don't have the Liquipedia page up right now like I do. So since this is the last week before playoffs, Cursed Ascension and Team Mystic Academy are both tied. So Mystic Academy is technically in 4th, and Cursed Ascension is in 5th technically, but they're both tied for 4th. Whoever wins this match will basically go to the playoffs, and whoever loses gets eliminated for the season. So there's a lot on the line tonight, and I would not be surprised if we wound up going to all 3 maps.
I mean, considering the fact that the points are tied in the first place, this would indicate that the teams are from a very, very similar level. It looks like, I'm sorry, I'm once again like running production and observer at the same time. Mystic Academy, I'm just going to jump back for half a second. Mystic Academy, right here, will be defending first, should overtime be a thing on this first Argon map. Okay, yeah, but back to what we were saying. Since the teams are at the same footing, since they have the same amount of points, logic would dictate that this is going to be an extremely balanced and equal matchup, which would, support the hypothesis that we would go into a third map, like you mentioned, Clubhouse. Another thing that might be worth mentioning, by the way, we do have 11 players into the lobby. So it really won't be too long before we get the match going. But the last little bit of filler content that we are going to have for you guys is player statistics. Our player statistics are notoriously Spartan. Some matches are missing. So, which is why we only have stats for Mystic Academy. And before you ask, yes, Weston did ask me to use this as his profile picture. I was having like a proper headshot in mind, picture of their faces. But if you want to go for the frog, go for the frog. You want to maybe read those stats and tell us what we can expect from the players looking at this?
So I would read those stats, but it's coming through very, very blurry right now. So unfortunately, I cannot.
Fortunate. Okay, well, you know what? Ever the problem solver, I shall send you in a DM a screenshot of this. Fantastic. There you have it.
As it pulls up on my computer that is now acting like a brick, because I guess I had to use it for class today, and it's very mad at me.
Computers don't like to be used for classwork. Computers would rather be used for gaming, is what our arbitrarily decided computers' feelings are going to be. While you do this, we have the players in the lobby, but not everybody has yet said ready. However, the one team that is ready are spamming it. So yeah, go ahead as soon as you have it.
Still taking a while. I've actually got the stream running right now. How delayed is the stream?
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
You gotta make sure that the players aren't going to use the stream to like gain an unfair advantage, aka Absolutely. Stream sniping. So yeah, we got like a full round of delay in the stream.
Makes sense. Yeah. I'm hoping once it pulls up on there. For some reason, my computer is just absolutely not having it right
now.
Know,
yeah, let me do this then. So I have been wrong in the past. I will want to say my track record there is not the best, and I will have to basically find people that are better than me to host this kind of stuff next, because my stats rating isn't too great, and this is one of the things that drags the league down. But really quickly, I do want to say the headshot percentages are looking pretty good, right? When you have a 60% headshot percentage, that is impressive. However, the numbers outside of that are not too great. Look at the cost, for example. When they're hovering around 10, you're not getting too much done for most of the rounds. And cost, I know it's not the ratings are hovering just under 1 on average. Actually, they're all negative, only for the one that is slightly positive. So the bad news is, on that front, statistics aren't looking like too great. I, once again, wish I had the CA stats to compare them against, because, you know, your KD might be below average, but if you play against somebody else whose KD is below average, well, then you might just have an above average KD for that one encounter. So do take that with a grain of salt. But as we can see, the most played operators for these players is interesting. Take, for example, Weston playing Iana and Pulse. That to me speaks of a fragger to be sure. You know, Lion and Kate for Ebzy, well, he's likely going to be your support player. Another example, Kaiko, Sledge and Melusi, you can see he's got a lot of entry activity. Deaths more than kills, which is unfortunate, granted, but Kaiko definitely will be your entry fragger and or, you know, your active roamer. We do have 10 players in the lobby, so I don't want to drag this on for too much longer, but the one team still has to state that they're ready. And so I'm just going to prompt them, because we've been sitting here with 10 players for like quite a while at this point, and it's odd to me. Oh, you know, you just have to ask them, and it turns out they were ready. So let's not take too much time anymore. This is Argon. Mistake Academy is going to defend first, both on start and on overtime if applicable. I just confirmed the settings, so then type in a little GLHF, and let's get the show on the road, shall we?
Absolutely, and I do finally have the stats pulled up on my phone. I was able to screenshot Twitch stream on my phone, so thankfully that helped.
Just in the nick of time.
Just in the nick of time, yeah. But yeah, looking at things, I think you went over most of the players here. But yeah, definitely gonna be that top fragger in Weston, and maybe also in Natural. Ace Smoke, so both operators that you tend to think of more as flex ops, but Ace with that AK is just absolutely potent. And Smoke Shotgun is always going to be great, not to mention that Denial. I'm sure he'll be bringing that a lot. I'm sure that maybe on a bunker in the basement site here would not surprise me at all. But going ahead and getting into the bans, actually, very intrigued to see Hibana be the first to get banned out. So usually you'd expect a Thatcher ban. He's pretty standard here because there's a lot of hard walls that you've got to get through. So you usually want Thatcher off the board, and you'll see that Cursed Ascension will just go ahead and ban him out right there, since they're just so used to playing without him anyways, that even though they are attacking first, they could use him to their advantage. They're like, no, we're better off playing without him. Which is pretty expected at this level of play. You don't want to throw in too many variables that are outside of your level of comfortability. So it was really a nice pick there for Mystic to just go ahead and ban the Hibana, because they knew they were probably safe. Even that Thatcher banned as well. So that's a little bit of extra hard breach, but that hard breach is primarily going to be for getting hatches. So this makes getting E-Box hatch for basement a lot more difficult. As well as getting some maybe peek holes through the attic walls from master bedroom. There are lots of little things that you can do with Hibana, especially to prevent tricking, to get players to waste their impacts and time. So that'll definitely hurt the attackers a little bit. Though, of course, with secondary hard breach being a viable option for secondary items in the game, I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. We are going to see the Valkyrie ban as well, to the surprise of nobody. Valkyrie has a lot of potency on this map, especially with her black eye cams. They can go literally anywhere. And I was going to say, especially on the top floor in dorms. There's so many great default spots to put that black eye cam over default plant spots, and then just go from below and start C4ing everyone. So not surprised to see her gone. And Wamai, interesting final ban there. Kaid is still in play, so it'll be difficult for the attackers to play against. But Wamai is pretty solid himself. He gets those magnets, I believe 5 or 6, can't remember the exact number now, but he's able to throw those throughout the round. As they charge up, those will suck in a lot of utility and burn that. So Jaeger and Aruni are still on the board, but losing Wamai, and especially having access to those impacts, really good gun like the AUG, solid up close with the MP5K if you like to go that way. That'll definitely hurt the defenders quite a bit as well.
I do want to mention the fact that we're going to be here in Meeting Hall of all places, because you know how it works, right? You are no stranger to Rainbow Six Siege. People would rather tend to go in the primary bomb sites first, and this area right here could hardly be considered primary. My best bet, actually, would be that they are betting on the fact that Curse Ascension aren't exactly expecting to have to attack the first floor, and as such, you know, they might be caught off guard somewhat, whereas if, you know, Mystic Academy were off a 2-rounds win, well, then they would be kind of forced into this quote-unquote tertiary bomb site, which then would be expected by the attackers. How valuable is the advantage of surprise, considering that you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot by picking a weaker bomb site in order to achieve said advantage of surprise, is up for debate for what it's worth. But this is exactly what we're going to be seeing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not surprised at all to see this. I'm actually pretty impressed that a team is going to the tertiary bomb site first. I think it was Lycan, the coach for SSG, who actually requested that Oregon be removed from the game because it is so predictable. I mean, everybody knows this map inside and out. We talked about Clubhouse being very even-sided. Oregon's a bit more defender-sided, but teams just know it like the back of their hands at this point. It hasn't seen any changes at all recently, and so as a result, a lot of teams are going to want to go to different locations to change things up a little bit. Like you said, if they win this tertiary site, and they basically have guaranteed victories on defenses as long as their strats are sound enough and they're able to execute. So really what this comes down from the tertiary site is banking on the fact that the attackers won't be ready for it, and banking off the fact that your strats are set up. They've got some really interesting ones. They got a pretty solid top hold, though it's quickly being torn into by those Ace Selmas, and this is where you kind of have to wonder if the attackers even know that they're doing a basement, or not a basement, sorry, a main floor bomb site or not, but I'm sure they do. They're just clearing the top first, as they should.
Oh yeah, they do. They do know that for sure. I mean, like, I do want to say the expression used was like the perfect one: torn into, but not torn apart. The defense is still very much standing despite the pressure that was inflicted onto them. I mean, just look at the numbers of players standing on both teams right now. The defense absolutely withstood the assaults, and now CA has kind of lost the wind in their sail. They still have 3 players, so I mean, they can still mount a convincing assault, but they're gonna have to win their gunfights pretty quickly. I say, as Bryos actually is gonna get a first pick for his team, and instead of like flushing out the roamers up top, because of course you can hardly plant when death could literally rain down from above, but if they're not expecting you, you get a kill or two, and this could shift the balance of power.
Absolutely, we're seeing it shift already. I really thought they were down and out of it. I mean, they're attacking an unfamiliar site in an unfamiliar fashion, I would say. This is not, you know, this is a similar setup to how people run this tertiary bomb site, but it's not the most frequent one all the times, and they were able to get into the top, like we said. But yeah, the roamers were able to hold off and hold their own. Weston especially showing up, as well as Kaiko. So yeah, they've done a good job of holding off on defense so far, but on their fallback towards the side, I think the rest of the roamers got cleared out. Now maybe that's a defensive retreat, and maybe they wanted those players to survive naturally. They should, but if they died, you know, they're like, it's no big deal. We've still got our 3 on site, and they're still off site trying to find a way in. It looks like the security push is going to be the way to go, as that secondary hard breach is going to be used to get the hatch. That's some dual pressure, a little pincer, as well as from dining hall door that they can get going on. But we see that Weston is still above here. If they walk through that dining door, they've got to know that this player's above. If they don't have the drone intel there, they are screwed. You can see the fire going on to Weston. They want to bait him out and see if he's there before they push, but as long
They
as
know
he's
he's there.
Yeah, I don't think they can get the site.
But here's the thing. Diffuser's not going to be planted. Weston has to be kept in check, because if not, he could deny that. He might have to get... Oh no, this is actually huge. Bryos now in a 1v2 situation. 3 seconds left on the clock, and of course, Weston is not going to peek the hatch. I say as he almost dies, but the countdown just hit 0. Mystic Academy, as the defenders, by the skin of their teeth, might I add, will take the first round.
Yeah, that was a very, very quickly shifting round. I thought the defense, I was applauding them. You know, hey, they went to an orthodox site to start. They really had it in the bag. They lost maybe some of their roamers. They were playing sort of sloppily once they got the lead. And really proud of Mystic Academy for picking up on that and going after them. On Curse Ascension for picking up on that and going after them. Starting to put the pressure on. But yeah, they just didn't really have... A lot of time had been wasted by those roamers. Really good on their part. That's the roamers' #1 job after all. And because they wasted so much time, when push came to shove, like you said, plant really can't go down. You're caught between multiple crossfires in kitchen. Even if you get in away from the hatch player, he can always drop from behind you. You got to worry about the player in meeting. They managed to clear out 1 player on entry into kitchen, which was a start for them. But as long as Weston was above, they just really didn't stand much of a chance. And sure enough, we saw it play out in Mystic Academy's favor. And that means for the next 2 rounds at least, they're able to freely go to the main sites here, which we'll see if, you know, again, we talked about how these would be strong sites for them, but that also means that attackers are generally more used to playing sites like these as well, so I'm sure we'll see some strats up Curse Ascension's sleeve that'll make life a little bit difficult for Mystic Academy, especially with this very standard-looking Mira setup we're going to get down here.
Yeah, it absolutely goes both ways. The defense knows what's up. They know how to defend best. They know how to, you know, prompt the most favorable results from their point of view. But then again, if they're predictable, Curse Ascension can absolutely react accordingly. I do want to mention Nebsy did punch into the garage over there. Remember that? But I don't see anybody like using the opening to try to spawn peek, which is really like it looked like a spawn peek hole. Then again, look at Nebsy. He has yet to toss out his first electric loss. You wouldn't want to take the risk of losing that player this early on to a stupid spawn peek. Which once again, might be just reading way too much into like the one knife. But if we look at the attackers. They got a frag heavy potential. Beam, yeah, he's not an entry fragger, but the gun is like really good. Sophia, Iana, frag grenades. I don't need to explain myself. Utility is one thing, but at the end of the day, you may breach the holes with Maverick, with Ace, but you're gonna have to get inside, and you're gonna have to gun your way into sight actually. And so I feel like CA have a really well balanced lineup right now. Let's see just how well it fares against this team right here, because Nebsy can't do too much against the Maverick now, can he?
No, definitely not. Maverick is the best counter they could have brought. The Thatcher's gone. They can't hit one these hatches open. They don't seem to need to have to, after all. They got this Mav here. As long as he does it right, doesn't waste too much of his gas, he can get the hatch, and maybe a little bit extra for his troubles. Not to mention the fact that they have this Zero, who if they can get around this E-Box hatch electricity with the Maverick maybe, they could secondary breach that or save that for downstairs. And these Zero cams are going to be pivotal. We see them get taken out right here, but if he's able to hide them, he can get those through the walls down there, watch the Mira both ways, basically have his own Mira window that he can see back and forth, 2 lines of sight, and they'll give him huge intel into the site if he's able to pull it off. The defense has done a great job of taking those out so far, but I think Zero's a really underrated operator. If you play him really stealthily, the way that he's meant to be played, and get those cams into the right positioning, I think he's one of the best ops in the game, just for the information that he offers and intel. But as this is going on, Devil's going to start smoking out the back stairwell. Push is about to come to shove here. About 1:15 on the board. Frag grenade goes down. He's going to get it.
Didn't even get the electricity now, unfortunately. But I do see Gavin here putting some pressure, and of course this is going to shut down the cross angle if the gunfight was to go the other way. But as it stands, yeah, dropping any bucks is going to be really dangerous. You're kind of going to have to force your way down the staircase at this point. Dropping a hatch isn't viable. Gavin just showed us that you cannot really rotate through bunker either. So 47 seconds to go, and you know, forcing yourself down an absolute choke point is going to be a difficult task to say the least. Nonetheless, CA kind of don't have a choice but to try, and try they do. Kaiko gets a kill, but Natural with the Natural cell at the same time. It's a flurry of kills. The attackers are dropping like flies. CJ, last one alive for his team, seems to be more or less undetected. At least they're not making him contest every single inch of gun he's gaining, and he's on bomb site. Couldn't plant, of course. Still has to get a few gunfights, and of course loses at the first opportunity. But still, the movements he had did manage to get him pretty far into the site. That was interesting to say the least.
Yeah, the kills came in such a flurry that round. I mean, we got down, it was like, forget the 30-second minute, I think that was like maybe 40-ish seconds. Maybe it was 30 seconds. But yeah, it just became an absolute flurry of things going on right there. I couldn't tell left from right as players were just dropping like flies, but it all came down. You saw that nice double kill for the defense for Mystic Academy, and they really evened out the man count there. They were able to get it down to just CJ. Not only that, but they also surrendered diffuser control. So they had that rotate into supply from they had that rotate into bunker from supply, from the bomb site, and they were able to use that really well because the attackers, you know, they know that pushing bunker, especially with that supply hold, you got Jaeger ADSs, you got smoke canisters, you may not have Wamai, but you still have a lot of
defenders, protect your bombs from being defused
projectile denial. So the attackers realize that they're going to have to go in from a different angle, so they decide to go for a backstair push, maybe get freezer, apply pressure in both those ways, and because they don't push bunker at all, which maybe was the right decision to make to avoid all that setup that was there, because of that, though, they have to worry about those rotation angles that the defense is allowed to use. They basically have a free rotate around the site to get behind them as they're coming down that stairwell. They sent players back there to deal with the player deep inside bunker, and he got the best of them, and that's really what shut them down. So not a lack of strategy on Curse Ascension's part, just a lack of execution. When push came to shove, they were not there to win those gunfights, and as a result, CJ was stranded in sight without the diffuser and forced to salvage what little he could.
I do want to get back to something you said at this point a minute ago. You just kept on talking, so I didn't have a chance to react, and just to say you're so right, but I will put the emphasis on that nonetheless. Projectile denial. Of course, while it has been banned, I mean, you see it at the top of the screen, and this is relevant because our projectile denial is thus going to be Jaeger. But since CA tries to, for something, it fails, and they have to like rotate and go through plan B, Jaeger DS devices can get basically reactivated because of the downtime between those two phases of the action, whereas a Wamai disc would just flat out be lost. I see as Gavin gets the first pick on Kaiko, are the attackers, or the defense rather, sorry, becoming a bit too, say, confident and thus making a few unnecessary risks. Possibly, this is just the third round. I gotta say, Kaiko, if this is how you react after being confident due to winning only 2 rounds in a row, you're gonna have to keep your momentum in check, because if not, you know, it's the kind of mistakes you don't want to be doing for too often for sure. With that being said, there's somebody right there, as Bryos was able to realize that somebody's going to be Devil. He's out of a natural cell, so there's no cheeky way for him to get a kill on Bryos. And as such, it's going to have to be a good old face-to-face gunfight.
Yeah, he's got the tight angle here, but with Peeker's advantage, if that Zove takes the fight and is able to find the head in time, I think Brioche will have the advantage. But it looks like another attacker kill going to go the way of the attacker as well. That's Gavin picking up a kill onto Devil. So yeah, this over-aggression, I don't really understand it right now from the defense. Like, you really want to at least solidify. Say if you solidify these first 3 rounds, then you start playing aggressive. But now's not the time to do that, and you can see it's not panning out well. When the attackers are just building momentum off this, they're able to pull one back. And a C4 to pick up a second as well. But down we go one. It's all on Weston the site. Just absolutely murked there, being a little bit too aggressive right there. Weston, he's got a lot to do right now, trapped between a rock and a Goyo shield. Zero Camp's coming in to ping him as well. He'll grab one. My goodness, what a nice little shot right there. He had that headshot lined up perfectly with Master Walls open. There's not a whole lot he can do. He's gonna have to get aggressive in just the right way. They seem to know exactly where he is. He almost takes off his head just in time, but now his position has been found out. He's been relegated back to White Stairs. CJ and Peeps are gonna have to be really careful about how they proceed in together. Peeps will just go ahead and take the initiative though, find the head of Weston, and take the first round for First Ascension here on their attack.
First Ascension showing us that they're not defenseless against this team. My question, and we're going to have the answer to that in a few seconds, is where will Mystic Academy go next? Because they could either go into the first floor, which would be kind of surprising, but then again, the weaker bomb site, since they just lost in dorms, they could go there again. I would argue this is, you know, a way better bomb site than the first floor, but it looks like Mystic Academy don't share the sentiment. Meeting hall and kitchen. What do you think of this? Because I would argue CA kind of lost this first round because they didn't exactly know how Mystic played, and as such, they didn't know exactly how to roam sweep. Now that they're going to come into the round knowing full well what those variables are going to be, their odds of winning are going to go up pretty drastically, IMO.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to say that going back to the tertiary site and not just going straight back to master bedroom. I mean, I think they could go back to dorm kids or dorm game. Yeah, no, it's dorm kids.
Yeah.
I think they could easily go back there right now, because the way that they lost last time was a lot of just kind of stupid aggression, running out of garage. It's like, you know, if it works, great, but they really were just not throwing, in a sense, but they were kind of throwing caution to the wind at the very least. Saying, you know, if it doesn't work, oh well, we're up by 2, but, you know, in a best of 7, you need, especially when it's, you know, best out of 3 maps, you really want to make sure that you've got a definitive lead, because you don't want all these maps to be going down to the wire. But that brings me to this tertiary bomb site. I'd say it's a smart idea because, you know, the defense is going to say, okay, they're going to go back to the top floor, play more conservatively, and this could maybe throw them off. But the problem is that, especially when it comes to comp play, unlike in ranked, most of these teams, or at least the level of rank that I play, most of these teams are bringing the same operator lineups every single time in and time out, just to be ready for each and every different site, no matter where they have to go. So it's not really so much, maybe they'll be surprised for 5 seconds with the drone phase and like, oh, they went to the tertiary site, but we know how to deal with this. Like you said, we played this round already, so it's not really that much of a surprise factor anymore, especially with Weston still reinforcing right here. I guess he had protection there, but late round reinforcements are always a bit scary, especially as it looks like Cursed Ascension is going to waste no time in getting back up here, just like they did in the first round. They want to be even faster and more efficient in this round.
We only have a few more seconds before the kills actually start happening, so please allow me to take those few seconds to mention the numbers. The top frag of the attackers, being the hard breacher, is not normal. You know, the entry fraggers or the frag dedicated operators should be getting more kills, and like if this simple switch could be flipped, I feel like CA would likely start winning the rounds. I say as Beam gets a kill, Kaiko likely to go down in short order. Yeah, he's suspiciously close to the hatch. Is he gonna drop? I wouldn't put it past him at this point, which would leave Natural in a very exposed situation. Yeah, he's also like very close, doesn't want to drop. Kaiko taking even more damage, goes down. Now that is their flank exposed, and as such, they are both going to drop pretty quickly. And now, this is the polar opposite of what we saw last time. We went here 3v5, but in the attacker's favor.
Absolutely. Oh, well, they're gonna try to turn that around. CJ, the top fragging ace of Curse Ascension, taken down by a nice errant C4 there from the mute. So great job on the fall off there from Mystic Academy, knowing when to fall off, especially, you know, when you lose almost half your team. But they're able to get a kill out of it, and that's really, really clutch there, taking down the top fragger, also dropping Diffuser, forcing the attackers to get back there and pick it up. And since they're not used to that position, they might not be as good at planting. But Peeps, though, is going to go ahead and shut down Devil. The caster will fall, still yet to find a kill, and another one. Oh my gosh, Peeps, they're just lining up for him right now. One for the Aruni, but not a whole lot to do. 3 versus 1. They've got the line of sight through security. My goodness, a great shot there with the DMR. Now pressuring on the other one inside of sight, missing the shots, though. Oh, I had to compliment you. I'm so sorry. I may have just cursed you. 2v1. I don't know if that curse mattered too much, because I don't think that round was going away with the defenders. But a nice try from Mystic Academy.
They weren't going to get the round, but the kills were still enjoyable to watch.
Oh, absolutely. That line of sight through security was very, very clean. That's what I love watching at this level of play, is just the game awareness and the game sense of the players. They know exactly where to aim and exactly when players are going to walk through, and they're able to just hit them right on the dot. It's very, very clean. Great to watch. Not at all like the potatoing that I do when I try to shoot people in this game. But that's neither here nor there right now. We're going to go back to basement. The only site I would say that was won, well, I don't know. I guess the tertiary site the first time was won confidently. But basement was definitely another great site for Mystic Academy. If they're able to pull off this bunker rotate again, I really think they're going to give Curse Ascension a run for their money. But we see the 6th pick here. Ace
I was going to bring it up
for a Ying instead. I will let you tackle that massive subject.
Okay, to me, this is a facet or a side of a coin that we touched up on before. The teams will tend to use the same lineup round after round, and this is going to make them predictable. But if we were to have the same, series of events as we had back on round number, it was 2 that we went on launcher before, well, odds are we'd have the same result, which is something CA does not want to have happen. So, knowing that, you know, the hard breach to drop down the hatches is unlikely to work, what are they going to do? Basically rushing or being a bit more aggressive with their entry picks. AKA tossing a Candela. Whoever was in that room is now basically as weak as a newborn baby, and just like that, you can... Okay, murdering children is not the best analogy, so let's just say you can steal candy from a baby. I think that expression would be a bit more fitting. Before I dig myself in an even deeper hole, you want to take it away?
Yeah, no, absolutely. A very apt description, though, I will say. Yeah, those Ying Candelas. Not only does Ying have the Candelas, she most likely also has these smokes. I don't think they need another set of Claymores now. I don't think Ying has secondary hard breach anymore. Or no, she lost Claymore. She does have secondary hard breach. Okay.
Okay, she's on the drone, so we can't know exactly, but... Oh, yeah, and also they're going to know where the roamers are. This is going to be huge, especially if they want to rush. They're going to know, like, which corridors to ignore and which corridors to flank watch.
Absolutely, and it looks like, yeah, they've already got that flank watch set up right now. They're trying to pressure natural. They've got the zero cam going in to follow behind as well. They're not bringing Nomad or Gridlock, the lesser Nomad, in my opinion, which has been interesting. We haven't seen that at all so far. They've opted to bring Zero each and every time because Zero naturally has better, I would say, utility and access to that secondary hard breach, the taser on the cameras. And so he sort of acts as a flank watch, not as a guaranteed flank watch, because it won't trigger or detonate or, you know, make noise when somebody steps on it or hits it like a Gridlock or a Nomad air jab will. So instead, they really have to rely on having someone dedicated to watch those cams very frequently.
There, she's got the smokes. There you go.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, there's no way she wasn't bringing the smokes. Really quickly though, we're sidetracked. Brios getting the kill onto Weston. Weston the first to fall 2 rounds in a row. He's getting a little bit too aggressive. We talked about this earlier. I think this has been the downfall so far for Mystic Academy, but they will get the refrag off the gun of the Vector of Devil, the Mira, his first kill. So congratulations to him on getting that. But yeah, the Ying bringing those smokes, she's able to clear out those ADSs, and then they can just Ying Candela that hole. It might even push into sight a little bit, blind the players watching these mirror windows as well, if they've got lines of sight set up to try to peek from. So really a great operator to bring. They lose the hard breach, but they still have the secondary of Zero, who's still alive, but that cannot be said for Beam, the Maverick. He's done his job getting E-Box. I don't think he got much more than that. I don't know if they were planning to push Freezer. Maybe not. It looks like they're just going for a straight pillar push. They actually do have pillar control right now, but because they don't have the man count advantage, I'm not sure. Unless they can capitalize off these Ying Candelas, they flash Devil right there on the Mira, but they're not going to push. They're just going to scare him a little bit, and they're actually going to throw one upstairs because Kaiko's actually there on the rotate. My goodness gracious, Brios trying to get up here to take him out. He's pre-fired to the wall. He was not able to make use of that Candela. What great awareness, though, from the Ying to go ahead and put that up there. and start to apply pressure. And I've got to say, the way that this map has just switched so far. I mean, the players are in sight. Oh, but down goes CJ from the C4, so never mind. I take that back. It looks like the players falling off on these roams actually have helped a lot. Peep's, though, going to find the head of one. He's been really great so far. But Devil with the flank from behind. Once again, the I rotate. Too much for them to handle. 2 headshots for Devil, and he'll find his first 3 kills just off this single round.
The Ying plays do need more times than the Oven CA. I'm sorry, like all 3 of those Ying Candelas either outright like didn't flash anybody, or flashed somebody and that somebody subsequently wasn't rushed and thus wasn't killed. The perfect example: the very first Candela that was tossed to the one doorway by Bunker. Yeah, you know, with the Goyo shield. But nobody was behind the Vulcan shield. Even if there was, first and foremost, use a drone so you can know that you're tossing the Candela charge in a Candela Ying. The Ying Candela at an empty doorway, and even if it was, you couldn't just run down the big stairs because you'd have somebody behind pillar. So, and you know that hypothetical player would stay hidden behind the shield, wouldn't of course peek into the bunker doorway, so you'd have to like get to them. And after that, you know, the Jaeger, natural, like you mentioned, like super great situation awareness that you can toss it like up the hatch. The kind of thing that you think about as a defender tossing a natural cell up the hatch that just got blown by a Maverick. I don't know why I'm having just blank on those operator names. Defenders do think about that, but as attackers, they're not like trained to think in that sense. Nicely done. Yes, Jaeger was totally defenseless. All Bryos had to do was to peek their doorway, but somehow he was still afraid that some return fire was going to be sent his way, even if the player was flashed by Ying. But the flash is only a temporary effect. At that point, might as well use the frag grenade because the amount of health that the players would lose does not regenerate, barring like a Thunderbird or something. So yeah, that's the issue with the flash grenade. You gotta rush once they're when they're blind, and it's just something that Sia didn't do. I'm sorry.
Wow,
but their progression.
That. Yeah, he's instantly gonna take down Natural. Not sure. I guess that was a spawn peek there. Natural playing on the AU this time. Weston opting to play Goyo, maybe hoping to replicate some of Devil's vector success. But yeah, another early pick. We're seeing a lot of this very, very early and intense aggression from Mystic Academy just go really wrong really quickly. So Curse Ascension is doing a great job of picking this off, but then when it comes to the middle of the round, they're stalling out. I've said this before, they spin their wheels in the mud a lot.
Right now.
Not able to make a lot of progress. Yeah, so right now we see Devil refrag exactly with the SMG-11. So they got that early pick. Beamed walks in though. As the Maverick too, those are frag grenades you're losing, as well as your anti-wall denial. How are you going to get past those Kaids if you don't have Maverick there with frag grenades as well? You're going to have to be very careful. They're trying to frag from beneath, it looks like. But that hatch is actually electrified from above so that players can't play around it. I guess throw frag grenades up or shoot through the hole. Very interesting choice there for the defense. But again, let's look at this roam right here. We got a player in security. That's CJ, who's back on the ace this time. Shooting away, down on default plant, trying to get a line of sight open, but now his position is known, and that means the Malusi of Kaiko is right there, ready to pounce on him once he gets the call, once he hears the footsteps. He might be able to pick up 2 here, or is he just going to let him pass?
You gotta swing it! At some point, the guy's shooting at the ceiling, you might be standing next to him, he wouldn't even see. Like, look at this right here. It's as free a kill as it's ever gonna be. Wow. You know, 20 seconds before, that would have been a kill on the hard breach of all people. Shutting down, for example, a big tower push, or any hopes for a big tower push. Kaiko gets the kill. I cannot complain too much, but he still was way too passive in that situation.
Yeah, he's lucky that even worked out at all. No.
Oh, yeah. Sia should have drawn him out, for sure. Like, that playstyle entirely rests on their opponent making a mistake, and you shouldn't expect your opponents to make a mistake at a higher level of play. Weston here gets the kill on Peeps, 2v4 situation. Now 2v3 as CJ finally gets the refrag on Kaiko. Like I mentioned, you know, betting on your opponent's mistakes, like, not, like, forgetting that he was there 20 seconds ago would also have been a mistake, which this time, CA didn't do. Still, you got 35 seconds left on the clock. Granted, they are out of smoke canisters, but still, 2v3 situation, and their mobility is severely limited. Bryos has to, you know, vault through the window. CJ has to peek the doorway. It doesn't get more predictable than that.
Yeah, and both their positions seem to be known right now. There's no way they get into sight right here. If he swings to the left to take out this player on dorms, then he's going to be found out. In fact, there he is, found out through game wall right now. Rios is going to use that opportunity to jump in, but he'll grab one, but it's to no avail as the other 2 players are able to quite decisively shut him down in an unsurprising fashion. And so now here we are at the half change. It's a 4-2 half. For Mystic Academy up. They were on defense first, so I can't say that's super super out of the ordinary, I should say. Pretty predictable. But at the same time, though, if you're Cursed Ascension, if you're on the down half of this, you don't want to be just, especially on attack on Oregon, because if you go 4-2 split, which is normal, then you're both going to OT. You don't want that. You want to at least get half. If you can tie it attacking on Oregon, and you've got some solid defensive strats, chances are you can really make it work. And right now, I'm just not sure. Curse Academy, we're either going to take this to overtime. I don't see them winning more than 4 on defense, though.
Yeah, anything is still possible. I mean, I've seen my fair share of games where, like, the one team is having such a hard time in the first half, but it looks like it seemingly just is the defense that is so much easier. The band operators can shift the meta somewhat on a game to a per game basis. And I wouldn't put it past Curse Ascension, just because I've seen it happen before when I wasn't expecting it to happen. Then again, does it mean that I'm expecting it to happen this time around? No. I just was surprised before, and so I'm not going to get my hopes too much up, because I might just get disappointed in myself again. I am rambling, so let's talk about this defense right here. I do see a few unusual picks. First and foremost, well, of course, there's going to be Tachanka, of course there's going to be Ella, but the elephant in the room really is going to be the Clash. That operator is meant to slow down an attack. Of course, pin them into place. I suppose that, plays well with the Shumika grenades from Gavin. But then again, if you look at the attack, they're going to have a few frag grenades, specifically Nebs and Weston, the firebolts from Natural. So if they put their minds to it, Peeps should be pretty easy to flush out, for sure.
Yeah, very, very interesting setup. Yeah, I don't know. Peeps, he can get that pillar play, especially if he's got the Tachanka there to back him up. This Capital almost seems like a direct target, opposition operator. I don't know if this is common for a Curse Ascension to play Clash, but this Capital really seems to know what's up. He does also have access to those secondary hard breach. I'm not sure if he's bringing them, because I know the Buck is not. And other than that, Maverick would be the only way they can really get in, so I think they might work in tandem. And this Clash is actually going to get really aggressive right here, just to take out drones. I guess that's some good intel denial, but you really can't be throwing your life away like that, especially with the Capital so close. Oh, he's going to go down! He drops too far! And if the defenders know about this and push on to Kaiko, I guess they've got the Buck there now to help. Devil's going to pick up his teammate.
I mean, still, the shield could legitimately kill Capitao at this point. This is scary.
Yeah, that was a huge misplay on the behalf of Mystic Academy right now. Like you said, yeah, if you're in the Trumika fire for like all of a second, you're probably going to go down at the very least, burned to death. So Capitale's really got to save himself. I was just talking about what a great target pick he was for this Clash, and now his life is almost done. And again, there's also no pressure really being applied on Free right now. They're going for a complete back push onto E-Box and Big Tower Stairs. They do have those pings on the Clash right now, which they can use Natural to help with as long as he's able to survive a couple of bullets. It looks like he's going to try to burn some smokes first. Now, this could be why they banned out the Wamai, so that they can use Capital.
They're rushing, though. They're all dropping.
Oh my gosh, what a cluster right now. The defense goes up, and they can't flush out these players from Freezer. They got the shield set up perfectly. The smoke barely concealing the attackers. They're trying to swing different ways, but the Clash is on him, getting perfect callouts. Natural's inside of bunkers. He's got the angles lined up. Buck gonna go ahead and skeleton his way into Cypher. There's a shield there, too. Another Clash is exactly on Devil. He's taking last. And down he'll go to Gavin's LMG. Kaiko's gonna be quick to fall as well. And Natural went down so early, about to go down so late. And sure enough, a flawless round. What an interesting strategy from both teams, and what a failure of execution from Mystic Academy.
That was a huge failure of execution, to mirror your words exactly. I did not see Capitao toss a single firebolt, period. Not even in Clash's general direction, yet he missed. No, he didn't pull the trigger once. He used the smokes, granted, and I was kind of off-put by that, to be honest, because, if you were to put yourself back in the timeline, that swap from the fire to the smoke was right around when they had that yellow ping, that, constant info on Clash's position. So we're not on comms with them, but everything would lead to indicate that they were working on the Clash threat. There's no Wamai. There are no discs to burn. Jaeger devices aren't going to counteract the smoke, the firebolt, except if there has been like an update which I missed. I don't think that's the case. So why swap to the smoke? Like, legit, I'm not just asking this question rhetorically to build like the storyline of this match. I'm truly asking why swap to the smoke.
Yeah, that was my big question, because at first I was like, oh, he's just going to burn them wall magnets, and I was like, wait, they banned Wamai, they know that he's not there. Maybe it's a force of habit for Natural, maybe it's natural for him to switch to those smokes first, but then
yeah, again, if that's the thing, this is going to be another era to add to the list, because you shouldn't play on instinct, you shouldn't play on habit, you should play on brains. you should like have the situational awareness to realize that, you know, Wamai has been banned. Just like you should have the situational awareness to realize that, oh, if I drown, there's no ADS there, so I shouldn't have to like waste a flash on that doorway, and I could toss in the nade immediately because that doesn't give a full warning. You name it, right? Any situational awareness in a very broad sense is super important, and that was just a poor example of it, really.
I don't think the smoke was inherently a bad idea. I think his big goal was that he wanted to cut off the line of sight from the player playing down Freezer, because they saw there were two shields. There was shields in sight and one on Freezer. So if you can block off that line of sight with a smoke arrow, then you can just go ahead and firebolt the Clash at free will. But the problem there was that they had the firebolt ready. All they had to do was hit it, and the Clash would have either gone down or backed so far off on so little HP that she might have been easily killed later on, or at least less of a threat for them to push down. Because they made that little error right there, and that little misjudgment, I'll call it, they really cost themselves a potential kill on that Clash, and that Clash proved huge for just stalling out all of their efforts pushing on to site. But
you're right. You're right. It is very possible that I just happened to misread their play, because at the end of the day, you can only like extrapolate what they're trying to do from what you're seeing, and sometimes I just can't reverse engineer as well as they are acting their strategies out, because, well, they happen to have strategies that do elude my understanding. I am just a filthy ghoul after all. Looking at the situation right now, though, if we were to leave the past in the past and jump to the present, I do see the Mystic Academy being spread extremely thin. Like, there aren't too many people that could get a refrag. If Devil dies right here, nobody's gonna refrag that. That was just a prophecy right there. I'm living in a simulation. And, you know, wanting to put pressure on the defense from multiple angles at once does have its merits. But the drawback is exactly what we saw. No refrags possible. You kind of have to win your gunfights, and winning a gunfight is never guaranteed.
yeah, if it comes down to pure mechanical skill to win a gunfight, which was definitely not present right there, as we see
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
as we see another one dropped. That's Nebsy this time getting dropped. He's only 1 in 5 so far. So yeah, speaking of mechanical skill not being there right now, Nebsy, who has been playing a lot of support roles, you know, to his credit, yeah, you should never just let a fight come down to mechanical skill, but beamed, oh my gosh, a double kill on the round. They still haven't flushed him out of Meeting Hall, and Meeting Hall's not even in sight right now. Kaiko will finally grab him from below, but they still have to deal with the other 4 players in sight. And yeah, all in the Sophia, even with the LMG and all those bullets, you're trapped inside Attic. There's no way out. They might just take a tac timeout right here informally. Actually, they don't even have the LMG. They just have the AR.
Surprisingly, yeah.
I could see, yeah, like a tac timeout or something coming in right here. Maybe just trying to stat pad a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, okay. There's 2 things. Kaiko might still only have like 5% chances of making it, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't try it, right? Because 5 times in 100, you're still gonna end up with a point which you otherwise wouldn't get. So that is, you know, argument 1. The flip side of that coin is, yes, of course, you could not even try. You could just like sit in the corner and wait out, so you can take the time to, like you mentioned, have an informal tac timeout. They kind of did neither there. Not really pushing in, being like a bit too chicken to pick the corner, because siege meta in just half a second. I know I'm kind of like all over the place with my thoughts, but when you're in a clutch situation, you have to become aggressive, because the more time you give to your opponents, they're going to figure out where you are, they're going to surround you, they're going to, you know, watch every single angle, and they're going to basically suffocate or you choke out every possibility that you have at your disposal in a very broad sense. So you have to be aggressive, you have to be fast before they can set themselves up to counter you. He didn't do that,
Attackers need to locate
and he didn't take the tac timeout. So yeah, it was lost from the get-go. Totally, no discussions there. But he still didn't exactly truly try to pull the victory off the clutch of the defeat there.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes down to a clutch like that as well, you have to be aggressive yourself, and you also have to bank on the opposing team being really overly aggressive and rushing you and pushing you. Every time I've seen a big clutch like 1v4 pull off, it's because one side, the side with more players, got way too aggressive, and the other side was moving in position to be ready to take those kills when they happen, being aggressive like you said. And neither of the things were happening there. Some really great discipline from Cursed Ascension, and just saying, hey, we got these smoke canisters, we don't need to push, we don't even need to push him below. Let's just let him come to us. Can everybody set up the crossfire angles positioned properly, so that, you know, when push comes to shove, he's going to go down instantly. And they did just that. That was a great play from them. And yeah, kind of a waste of an opportunity there for either an informal attack or an attempt at really a victory at all there. But regardless, Mystic Academy now, they've lost 2 in a row, and now they have to go to the tertiary side. If there's any time to get the momentum, to put some gas in the tank, and start pushing yourself in the opposite direction, which in this case would be towards victory, right now would be the time. Weston's already down below. Kaiko down from Big Tower. They've already got pretty solid control in this back half of the map right now. As long as they can cut off the roamers from potential a laundry stair rotator, or maybe an attic wall rotator that is not reinforced, they'll be set to go. And it looks like Kaiko's even going down to help Weston right now. So some really great team play coming out. Now, granted, they haven't put anybody... Oh, here they come up with the Big Tower. That's Weston finding the Jaeger of CJ, their top fragger. Curse Ascension's top fragger going down. And now, this not only puts the team in a bad position, but so does the fact that the attic wall is open, only one Surrey gate is up, and Beamed is trapped between a mattress and an attic right now.
Don't know he's there. He's got the advantage of surprise, but they're also watching their not quite flank, but you know, they had their guard up. Dropping down here, that could be dropping exactly into the awaiting arms of Weston. But awaiting arms do not equal loving arms. 3v5 situation, Mystic Academy are in the driver's seat as Peeps gets the first pick of his team. It does not mean that they have won yet, because eliminating the threat does not mean that the bomb site itself is now free and, you know, ready for to have the attackers just funnel in. Bryos, heavy pre-fire is not exactly the best gun in the game, but you know, a headshot still is a headshot. Juggling between two angles, this is risky because you can only really watch one angle at a time. Gavin, on the other side, really watching right there, having both players on the same angle is an overlap that you don't like to see. So Bryos, stick to the left side, I would say. He's likely to get the kill. Nicely done. But the true issue, as he gets a double, thus getting the kill on the bear, the diffuser. This is impressive. He could actually get the quad, but he goes down.
Nebsy there getting a clutch kill for his team to try to salvage this round back. They were starting off so strong. Weston there with that great refrag on the player that dropped in the basement. Have to give him mad props for that, but now they've just kind of thrown it away. And a frag grenade goes awry. Oh my. Kill each other. Goodness gracious. And they've got one frag grenade left on Nebsy now. They're going to have to make this work. They do now have the same amount of players on the defense. They do have a lot of angles they can aggress from, but you know the defense is going to be watching each and every one of them. If this frag grenade lands true, they might be able to take it. Nebsy's going to go ahead and drop. Peeps not looking at the hatch quite properly. He's going to go and get the plant down. They got the red. Oh, the ping's coming out and the rotate from behind. They were expecting the push from the meeting hall wall, but it came from the giant, or from the meeting hall hallway, I guess, or the kitchen hallway, I should say. And the UMP might not be that great of a gun, but it's good enough to get two players unsuspecting from behind and win a round.
Just about any gun is going to be good enough when you're shooting at them from behind for sure. My question to you is going to be, just to show how hard it is to predict human behavior. We kind of did make the informal expectation, or we did set the informal expectation that CA weren't going to win more than like 2 or 3 rounds on defense. They are already overpassing Mystic Academy points-wise. Which is setting CA actually up to have them win the first map.
Yeah, I definitely prematurely. I think I said that CA was going to lose, and for some reason I thought that connected to the point that I was making, and then I forgot what point I was making. So I was like, yeah, I think hot take CA are just gonna throw the rest of the game. But you're absolutely right. That was definitely a premature call to make, and it's biting me in the butt right here. Perhaps maybe I've given them some luck by turning them out so quickly. I will say, though, I think Mystic Academy wins this round right here or the next. Most of the time in Siege, especially when a team has to mount a comeback, if they get, 3 or 4 rounds under their belt, momentum everything, right? So you get 3 or 4 rounds, you're going to probably win, those 3, maybe a 4th round. But at some point, the attacker or the opposite side will figure something out and usually break the cycle. This happens, and I feel like almost every game that I cast, in the middle of a win streak, one side manages to take a win, whether because of mistakes that are made, because of predictability, or because they're really feeling it at that moment. They're like, hey, it's do or die time. We're almost a match point. We gotta make a shit. We gotta get our show on the road here. So I really think Mystic Academy will win either this one or the next one on match point. The question will be, are they able to profit off of that momentum that they're going to try to build for themselves? But of course, this is all hypothetical. They haven't even won this round yet at all. They might not win any rounds at all. It's all a little bit of a crapshoot. And actually, oh my goodness, they're going to start off even worse. It says 5v5 for some reason, but don't be mistaken.
Yeah, that's weird.
5v4 as Kaiko will be taken down. Zofia thought they were clear in Big Tower, but the drone intel was just not there. They got into the building a little bit too quickly, and they did not check all of their corners, or in this case, all of their stairwells, and a great pickup there for Curse Ascension, already putting them in the driver's seat. We're not even a minute into the round yet.
Yeah, the big problem here is really that Mystic Academy made the mistake that even like a silver player knows not to make. You gotta drown before you go in, because if you go in unknowing, well then the first roamer in a sneaky dark corner is gonna get you for sure. This was predictable. It's just that, you know, they didn't take the time to make their due diligence. And this is so unfortunate because once again, it's the kind of mistake that is absolutely unforgivable. Losing Kaiko, he's not the top fragger, but I mean, he's the second top fragger. So yeah, losing not just a gun, not just, you know, the utility, but also like a fragger on a human scale. Furthermore, Mystic Academy, unlike before, they don't really have too much to counteract the Clash of Peeps. So remember how bad it went against them last time? You kind of did mention that, yeah, Mystic, we're probably going to win this round. But I guess I'm going to have to play devil's advocate here, because I kind of still see, even without like the first kill that they got, I just don't see how Mystic can go against Peeps' shield. We saw that Peeps knows how to play Clash.
Yeah, and especially this time they don't have the Capital at all. Even if they botched that in the first time they brought him, they got frag grenades on Nebsy and Weston, and Nebsy might have already actually used some. And it looks like they are going for a freezer push this time, but Clash is there to cover that as well. Whether it's pillar or freezer, both of these are really nice locked down sort of corridor lines of sight that you could really hold very easily as Clash, especially if you've got that side angle in the closet that it looks like the defense is holding down there. And another thing to point out, I think, is the number of kills on both sides of the team, or both teams right now. So everybody on Curse Ascension, I believe, is positive right now, almost, except for Beam. And Beam's had a couple of really clutch moments there. CJ will go down as I'm talking about kills. Still says 5v4. Thinks Kaiko's still alive for some reason, but oh well. So kills are starting to turn back into the favor of Mystic Academy there, but they're going to need their entire rest of their team to step up. Nebs is going to have to get a bit more aggressive here. Everybody else, I suppose, is a bit more balanced. But even playing support, you've got to start picking up kills at some
there
point.
you
Especially when
go.
it comes down to him. And yeah, the C4 from Gavin and the SMG beamed Brios, I can't say names for some reason, to take down Devil as well. And we're seeing this deja vu right here, the clash on one player with like 3 or 4 others left to kill him. And yeah, the kills that round still not going to go in the favor of Mystic Academy. And they're starting to prove me wrong and throw away the rest of this game.
So, since you are a newer addition into our caster's ranks, I would like to formally introduce you to the caster's curse. I mean, you did mention that before, so you know what it is, but yeah, this is a living example of the caster's curse. CA, thus putting themselves in a match point situation. This is relevant. Mystic Academy have yet to win a single point since the role swap. So, I know, once again, human behavior is more complex to be boiled down to this kind of binary assumptions, but Mystic Academy have shown seemingly that they cannot for the life of them win any attack whatsoever. So if I was to base my assessment on, you know, the current situation, aka Mystic attacking, CA defending, and kind of disregard the previous rounds because they don't apply to that analysis, I don't see why CA would lose here.
Yeah, I'm beginning to think, now again, by me saying this, of course, Mystic Academy is going to win this round. But I really think the Curse Ascension do have this here for no other reason than the fact, look at the operators right now being brought on attack. You see the Ying being brought out from Nebsy, who's not been getting a lot of kills. You see the Ashe coming out instead of the Zofia, who I would say Ashe is a far better fragger now than Zofia is, especially if you're not generally running the LMG. So yeah, these are very frustrated attacker picks. These are kind of last-ditch, do-or-die kind of methods you're throwing in right here. You're saying, you know, we can't get into sight, they got shields, screw it, let's just throw a bunch of blindy things, you know? And, we can't get kills, well, I'll just use Ashe R4C, you know, because she doesn't have a hitbox at all, and she can kill everyone. You know, obviously those are a bit drastic exaggerations, but it's the idea that they're doing some sort of frustrated picks right here. It's do-or-die time, they just gotta figure something out, and I'm hoping that these kind of frustrated picks don't turn into rapid aggression that result in their immediate deaths. They need to get this drone going. It looks like Kaiko and Weston are going to be pushing together. Really, really good to see. You need that cooperative drone work going if they want to have any chance of winning.
You know, this really has me worried. I say as Devil gets the first pick. You do mention frustrated picks. You know, not to say like raging or tilting. I don't mean to like exaggerate, but you know, the caricature does have its roots founded in absolute truth, right? And so the problem here is, even if CA were to win Mystic Academy, you wouldn't want to have them go into the second map somewhat tilted. That would be off to the worst start possible. For what it's worth, this has yet to come to pass. Of course, Mystic getting the first pick, and if the momentum continues, you know, on the macro level, they could still very much win the round. Already, however, their push is slowing down. There's Gavin, who absolutely has been figured out, but they don't know exactly how they want to actually eliminate the guy, and that's a problem. At the same same time, Beamed is coming back up, so he's not been droned out. Massive mistakes, if I do say so myself. And he's got the potential to get not one, but 2 picks. Goes down, actually. Unfortunate. It looks like Gavin is going to drop down. The Nitro could get a kill. It's not the case. Kaiko running after him. Is he going to realize that? No. Kaiko isn't aggressive enough to pose a real threat to Gavin, considering that he's actually retreating. Right now, there's a smoke from, well, Smoke himself. Fire from Capitao. Devil is right there. And since you have Gavin still kind of on a wild chase, that leaves us with only 2 guys on site. 2 I'm going to say 3 attackers, as Devil is kind of chasing after Gavin. On the bomb site itself, Bryos is heavily outnumbered, gets 1, but the diffuser is still going to go down. Gavin has to get back up pretty quickly. He's going to get a kill on Buck. And this is actually huge now. 2v2 situation, 2v1 situation. This is doable, but it would be a clutch, which does not happen. Mystic Academy going to stay in the round for at least another round.
Wow, the Capitao LMG coming in clutch right there to finish out that round. That fire as well from the Capitao. Really hurting peeps, locking off rotations. I have to give Ascension credit where credit is due. They had a lot of really great kills there to try to even it out. But honestly, the man count advantage, losing CJ as quickly as they did, just put Ascension in the backseat of that one. And Mystic Academy were able to capitalize off of that and at least always stay 1 step ahead of them in the man count advantage, even down to the 1v1 that they were able to win. Again, just because of their numbers, you know, the Cursed Ascension player just finished killing the Mystic player, so then the Capitao of Natural was just able to take him out. So that was really good on their part. So I talked about frustrated picks, and that's the thing about frustrated picks. It's kind of like throwing whatever you got at a wall, and sometimes it's so unpredictable and it's so strong that the attackers just aren't predicting it. I think what really won them that round was CJ dying as early as he did. They did a really great job droning each other in. And they were able to take him down, shut down that, eliminate that early. Also, the fact that they were able to take down the Vigil of Beamed, who was playing from Freezer, trying to support Gavin instead of security. Also, really clutch. If Beamed had gotten both of those kills onto Gavin and Kaiko, that would have spelled certain doom, I think, for Mystic Academy. But because they were able to kill off Beamed, Gavin was relegated to the basement and was very cautious about where he rotated back up. Didn't want to get caught out and killed. They were able to use, the Buck was able to go up White Stairs, and they had that whole kind of backside of sight near White Stairs cleared off, and they were able to really use that to their advantage to get inside and plant before the smoke was able to do too much damage to them. And as a result, they went out the round. But we are on a tactical timeout, I believe, right now.
Correct.
So I'm sure who called that? I did not catch that.
That was Mystic Academy. So for what it's worth, you can see in the... I'm going to actually take note of that because sometimes I do remember that there was a timeout, but I don't remember who that was. And as a result, I kind of forgot that the same team is asking for 2 timeouts.
Trying to pull a fast one on you.
Yep. Okay. Mystic Academy, for what it's worth, since we do have the players in the Discord, because we do want to make sure that the coaches aren't talking mid-game, I can see that only Mystic Academy happens to have a coach at hand. So this is the kind of stuff that might or might not have an impact because the coach, of course, is another force at hand that can, influence and help out. Oh, shoot. I overshoot the 30 seconds.
Hopefully I didn't get too much talking in.
Yep, you did distract me there. It's absolutely my fault. But Mystic Academy... Thank you. Okay, Repo just muted himself. Great. Okay, yes. Yeah, so the fact that you have a coach implies, or the coach is like the first line of support staff in an org, right? So the fact that CA doesn't have a coach would lead me to assume that they have less of a support structure in place. Players can be great without help, but help helps,
Absolutely.
Any kind of details I can guess at. I know I'm grasping at straws, but we're here to tell the story, and it's not just the story of the match, but also the teams who are playing the match, which is why I felt like this was relevant, but just so in passing.
Yeah, I think the coach's insight there to bring Flores is really insightful. So you have Nevsy, who this entire game has been playing a lot of projectile-heavy characters. I mean, Maverick, you're expecting Maverick to come every single time because of the anti-wall utility that he's able to bring with those frag grenades and the blowtorch. So instead, you know that, especially because you just played Ying last round, you know the defenders, I mean, like, they got the Warden to counter that #1, just in case, or to counter stuns in general. And so, you know they're going to be bringing, the Jaeger ADSs as well. They're going to be really trying to limit that projectile usage, and you haven't been that successful with it to begin with already. So instead of bringing projectiles, you can just circumvent all of that. The best feeling is when you use the Flores drone on, like, a shield with 2 ADSs behind it. Because
Oh,
you know the player was
absolutely.
sitting behind there thinking, oh, I'm so safe from everything. But your drone can get through. Absolutely wonderful feeling. Now, granted, we're not seeing a basement hold right here, which perhaps maybe the Flores thought. That would be very, very clutch to clear out the supply hold. Flores, though, is still very useful. There are lots of sneaky drone holes on the outside of attic. You can get one in if you need to blow the attic wall anti-breach. There's also one from master bedroom into games room. So there's a lot you can use, or a lot of places where you can put these Flores drones into use. Though right now they're just trying to use regular drones to find these roamers. A really strong roam going on. They've actually got these downstairs walls reinforced as well, with CJ playing on the basement stairs, the big tower, and Beamed playing just inside of that site as well. They got the rotating the attic, I'm sure. Gonna pre-fire almost the wrong way. Kaiko barely getting away with his life. He's just gonna back off that a little bit, and CJ is gonna be getting a little bit concerned for his teammate. Getting a little bit more poised to strike. Kaiko here doesn't probably realize it, but he's trapped between 2 different roamers right now. Actually, with one in security.
Doesn't realize it for sure. They don't know Jaeger's there. CJ has yet to be detected, and this is actually huge. I mean, advantage of surprise is everything. Gets a kill, but CJ's gonna fire, miss the shots, and now Kaiko knows he's there. Granted, CJ falls back, so Kaiko is kind of chasing a ghost right now and not contributing to his team. So yeah, it is a very temporary 3v4 situation. But then again, this is only going to last for a few seconds. Weston also goes down, so CA not defenseless, but Peeps is currently the only one on bomb sites. This is absolutely a problem right now, because if they had the diffuser, which shouldn't be too long to recover, well then Peeps could face a full 1v5. Now 1v4 as Devil goes down. CJ still being an absolute pest, an absolute leech on a drain on the the attacker's resources, and somehow Natural only now recovers the diffuser. It had been lost so far out. And of course, that causes a break in the attacker's push, because you can hardly push into sight without a diffuser. CJ still uncontested somehow. Yeah, he doesn't have it. He goes down. Okay, doesn't have an extra cell, so him, staying on the first floor for the sake of staying on the first floor wasn't worth too much. Diffuser's gonna go down. Doesn't have a diffuser, an extra cell to just shut that down. There's gonna be somebody. Can you chain him up? No! And Mystic Academy will bring us into overtime.
What a round. So one, I'd like to say that I'm really surprised that Mystic Academy waited to take their tactical timeout until this last round. I'm surprised they didn't take it the round before when they first got to match point. Peeps' ball. But yeah, I'm surprised they did not take that the round that they first got on match point. They instead decided to wait until they thought that, hey, we can take this to overtime, and then they took it, and sure enough, here we are in overtime. So they had tactical timeout. Definitely shifted things back in their favor. The Flores didn't turn out to be nearly as necessary as I initially thought. What it really came down to was gun skill. Maybe the coach imparted some confidence to his team. Maybe he said, hey, I trust you guys. I know you're good with guns. Just relax. Feel your way into the game. Be smart.
It looks like we just lost Kinder. Oh, I see my internet went down. My connection.
Roamers.
My internet blinked for just 30 seconds. So do you want to maybe repeat the last 2 sentences you said?
Yeah, so I was just saying that maybe the coach might have imparted some wisdom to his teammates, or not wisdom, but confidence, really. Just saying, hey, I believe that you guys can win these gunfights. I've seen you do it before. I know you'll be able to do it again, because I really think that's what happened in that last round. You see Kaiko, who could have been pushed by multiple roamers at multiple different points. But one, I think the defense got a little bit too conservative. They thought, hey, this is match point. We don't want to get over aggressive like we have some rounds in Bro. Let's play a bit more passively. As a result, Kaiko wound up getting several of those gunfight wins there, at least the one that mattered most. And then CJ gave himself away, was forced to fall off, and they really put the roam position in a bit of a stranglehold. And as a result, they were able to cut off all the roamers. This very, very extended roam that was going on. You saw all the reinforcements downstairs. Very, very heavy offsite presence. Once they were able to kind of strangle that out, Mystic Academy, all they had to do was get the players on the site, start planning, get that crossfire set up, and it was easily their round to win. So great strategizing there, great execution, really great confidence we're seeing come out, and I don't want to cast a curse, so I don't know. I think Mystic Academy has a lot of confidence right now, so for that take.
So hey, I will just take half a second to mention that I'm gonna have the question to my implicit answer, the answer to my implicit question that I asked like 15 minutes ago. I was asking, what is Nibsy doing, like knifing the windows and the doorways when he's not gonna try to spawn peek? He's shooting drones that are outside the building to really limit the drone economy for the offense. This is actually really interesting because when you look at it this way, he is taking away the resources without CA doing anything about it, or without CA getting anything in return. You know, sacrificing a drone in order to know where the Roma is, because of course you're gonna shoot at it, but doesn't matter. You know where he is. That situation just doesn't apply when somebody's shooting at the drones outside of the building during the preparation phase of all moments. Peeps, of course, setting up those rotation cameras. Kaiko's gonna be your roamer. But the cam, the zero cam is like all the way into meeting hall, or the attic rather. They don't know that Kaiko is here in White Stairs to be specific, and as such, the anti-roam efforts are going to be haphazard, right? They can just generally blanket throw the entire map in hopes of like finding him, but if Kaiko was to find them first, he could get a kill or two.
Yeah, he's in a really, really interesting position here. Not one that you usually expect roamers to sit in, because
True.
you could kind of be pushed from 2 different angles and you can only watch one of those at a time. But at the same time, not many people, when it comes to a basement push, at least push the top floor. So it's actually really safe in that regard. But as for right now, downstairs, for getting the roam, HansIV4 is going to be burned to no avail at all. He's actually cussed quite a bit. Looks like there's a lot of aggression now. He might try to push. Oh, he's gonna get it. Weston with a nice headshot there onto Brios. The confidence is there, and it's gonna pan out for them on that first kill. Now the Iona Gemini is gonna go down and try to drone them out. They have a bunker presence, pushing back to the
Oh, wow.
Weston. Oh my gosh, this man's on an absolute tear right now. He's taking the Vector, and he's taking heads with said Vector. And I don't know if the attacker's gonna recover from this. Another one, maybe actually no, that was the mirror of Devil. But it's still Vector kills coming out all over the board. Peeps trapped here on backstairs. He's got those zero cams. He's got plenty of teammates to watch him at this point, granted. And with Gavin trapped outside of bunker in construction, Peeps will manage to get down, but he'll be quickly felled. Weston finally dropped. His tear of terror is over, but it's all on Gavin right now, and essentially a 1v4. This line of sight still open. Might get in and grab Weston. Actually, looks like a player was going to revive. Try to swing one, but that mag clip is running low. Goes for the reload. Misses some shots. And the players are just going to back off and play really, really conservatively and force Gavin to make all the moves here. There aren't enough money moves in the world to help him make this. The C4 is actually going to hit him, and as a result, still managed to kill him. So yeah, wow. Great round for Mystic Academy. That confidence, I was not wrong. I did not curse them. The confidence was definitely there, and it panned out in spades for them.
And so we're back where we started, just the other way around. Overtime situation, but Mystic Academy this time are in match points. I gotta say, I did not see this coming, truthfully. You know, it was a 4-2 split for the first half, Mystic having 4 points, C only having 2. But then you see CA getting 4 rounds back to back to back ever since they started defending, right? So they got a total momentum going. But Repo, what did you tell them during the pause? Yes, you're kind of wondering, how can we get a coach like Repo right now? So yeah, CA had a momentum going. Mystic Academy, like, they just needed their break, and now they started winning the rounds again. I thought it was done, but no. Momentum is everything, but it's momentum is everything, but it's still very possible to slow it down and to inverse the ebb and flow of the game for sure. Now, we are, however, going to have CA on defense. Notoriously, of every round played, of every 13 rounds played, only 4 have been won by the attackers, no matter which team was playing on attack at a given time. Statistically speaking, therefore, CA should win this round, thus bring us into the very last round of overtime. I don't mean to, or rather, I don't like to dump the game down to simple variables, because as I always say, human behavior is too complex to be dialed down to this kind of analysis. But if the defense has such an advantage, CA will likely win this round, and then with the role swap, Mystic will likely win the next round, which would be kind of unfortunate if CA were to lose simply due to the fact that they were attacking on the very last round that was available, period, you know? Yet, it has to happen. It's just something that I do not wish to see happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like overtime rules in any sport, I know the NFL's been called into question recently. You know, and the game always has to end at some point. You just got to decide how and when. That having been said, if any team's going to take it on attack right now, Mystic really rocking the changes right now, I've got to say. So we're seeing IQ get brought for the first time, Sledge getting brought for the first time, despite the fact that we're in basement, which was very predictable. Oh, Kali, oh yes, I know exactly. I was like, why did they bring Kali? Great shot there, oh my gosh. But it looks
Weston
like
goes
he'll get it
down.
out. Weston, oh no! Oh, my analysis, no! I was
Okay,
not
go
even
ahead.
there
What
yet.
did they want to do? Because now how are they going to salvage that? Well, Bro's likely going to... Not even. Did you cook your nade? Come on, Devil. That's basic stuff.
He let it go way too early, and I don't think he's going to grab any kills with these nades now, so a waste of them for him. So that's all he's really got going for him, the sledge. He will actually, never mind, he finds Peeps, but Gavin will refrag onto Kaiko, but Nebs will refrag onto Gavin just in turn. Just like his coach said, you got to start shooting people, and he does indeed do that. So we got the sledge, the Mav, and the Capital all walk into a bomb site. What happens? You'll have to watch to find out. Beamed is safely inside of Freezer, and Brios, oh my gosh, getting aggressive at just the right times, finds Devil's head. Down goes that sledge. He's almost going to find Naturally as well to back off, applying just enough aggression to make them scared. A smoke canister in the E-box as well, locking down that, while Freezer Hallway is being watched by Beamed as well as the cross angle. But a frag grenade gonna take out Beamed. Oh my gosh, it's all on Brios right now to save. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? The headshots, the stars align. How do you do that? You can't walk in front of each other like that. That is the most unfortunate way I have seen a team lose, coming so close to winning on attack, which has been so difficult for teams this game. And just like that, they line up at the worst possible moment.
Okay. This was something. This really, really was something. And I am definitely going to record that clip. And it's going to find its way on Twitter sometime in the possibly semi-distant future, because I'm not quick at processing Twitter clips. But with everything that happened, we never got around to say, or you never got around to say, what they wanted to do with the Kali to begin with. So please do enlighten me.
Thank you. I was hoping you would ask. So I felt really stupid at first because I was like, why are they bringing Kali with no dedicated hard breach? Like, yeah, Kali, you know, her secondary bolt ability, it can clear utility, but I mean that can still get burned by Jaeger ADSs. You might as well bring somebody with frag grenades to
Attackers need to
damage as
locate
well.
and defuse bombs.
But the reason they brought the Kali was specifically to deal with the Clash, because if you shoot Clash's shield with Kali's sniper, it knocks it to the side. So all you have to do, if you're aiming down far enough away with Kali, the Clash electricity can't get to you. You shoot that shield away, you got plenty of time to shoot at her, launch firebolts, and she's completely vulnerable and slow. So I definitely think I really wish we could have seen that play out. I mean, that round was insane and very intense, and just what a way to end it, so I can't complain. But man, I really wish we'd seen a Kali help kill a Clash.
You're right. I mean, it's actually it is basic stuff. We've all seen this before, but Kali has fallen off the meta in the last, I want to say, like 2 years. It's been a while, right? So I had legit forgotten about that. But you're totally right. It's like simple stuff, but it just didn't happen to cross my mind. Okay, Mystic Academy are really, throwing things, are mixing things up, and this is throwing CA for a spin. Kali did happen to die, so it wasn't too big of an issue on that individual's particular front. But yeah, whatever Repo told them, he's got to put that shit on repeat more often, definitely. Right now, already Devil losing some amount of health. I couldn't tell you how he lost that health though, because like, I mean, was there somebody beneath him that like shot the ceiling? No, like there's roamers right here. Did Kaiko shoot at the ceiling? Was somebody like shooting at your jaw? I don't know. Still, it's not the right way to begin a round for sure. Then again, it might be irrelevant in the grand scheme of things because these rounds go down to the wire. Looking at what's going to happen here, somehow Brios is like walking up, but kind of worried about roamers. Kind of paradoxical in a sense, you know what I'm saying? But for the time being, the roaming game, you know, Weston likely was spotted out by that drone fleeing the meeting hall. Likely Weston isn't going to run up the stairs to try and harass that Brios's Zofia. So right now, I don't know. I really don't know. Brios is really stuck between the bomb site and the roamers, and he's paralyzed. He can't commit to either actions right now. So the timer's just running out. Really.
Yeah, this is like, I think this is the longest we've gone into a round without a death coming out of it. I mean, this is insanely slow so far. CJ finally in Master, but they still haven't gotten the electricity off the wall. Oh, there we go, as I speak about it. It is done. I'm not sure, maybe they went below. Was it a frag grenade maybe, or something below? They got the Maverick maybe? But regardless, the walls are open now. Of course, we do only have about a minute left in the... But the Vulcan shield's gonna reverse fire onto Devil. He was trying to hide behind it, but couldn't get off of it in time. And another one, Peeps grabs his kill too. Oh my goodness, that's a roamer going down. And another one! They're just falling like dominoes right now. And Mystic Academy, who had so much confidence, so much going for them, they'll manage to grab CJ. Brios is the top fragger now, and they still haven't taken him out yet. It's still a 4 versus 2, with these last 2 players trapped on site with so many angles there to be watched from. C4 goes out to no avail right now. Mystic Academy just looks like, I don't know if they have this one left in them, but they're fighting really, really hard. Nebs finding those kills, just like his coach told him. Good job, son. Nebs is doing the most for his team, but he can't do it all. They're both gonna rush in. They're gonna grab the player on white stairs as well. Cursed Ascension winning off of a Brios clutch in a 1 versus 2 with the headshot. I think that's what turned the tides right there.
Oh yes. Did we mention that we were expecting this match to be like really close looking at the player statistics, and yet it absolutely was. Brios is going to win basically MVP for his team, and goddamn did he ever deserve that 20 kills.
Oh man.
You know, CJ being the second top fragger, if I was to round it up pretty aggressively, like once again, 20 and then 12, it's close to double the second fragger. And why is that relevant? It creates an all or nothing situation where if you kill the top fragger, the rest of the team really cannot fend for themselves by comparison. Yes, okay. Let's not take too much time to dissect what just happened, because I know that we're going to take a 5-minute break between the two teams, between the two maps, rather. But if there's anything you want to mention, yeah, the player's asking for 5 minutes. Of course, yes. Is there anything else you want to add before we take our quick, short and sweet little break?
Yeah, the last thing I want to say is just that that's going to be one of those moments. If Mystic Academy lose this whole series and wind up not getting into the playoffs, that moment is going to live in infamy for their minds until the next season of Digital Athlete League. So let's hope for their sake that that's not the case. But otherwise, yeah, they're going to have to try not to dwell too hard on that over this break. And we're also going to cut to break right now. But don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back in just a second. 5 minutes.
See you soon.
All right, welcome back, everyone. So that was a nice little break that we all had there. I feel quite refreshed now and ready for another one of these. Grueling's not the right word. Grueling makes it sound bad, but I mean grueling in a good way. Grueling in that it's long and it's intense and it's down to the wire. So I'm ready personally to cast and watch another one of those. I hope you guys are also ready to join both Hans and myself as we're about to dive into the Italian grape fields all the way to Villa. We're going to be taking our second match of the day. Bear in mind, Cursed Ascension won Oregon after a crazy, crazy round that forced us to double overtime. So Cursed Ascension, though, pulling out 8-7. They're going to win that first map. We're going to Villa now. If they win this, they take it all. And by all, I mean they're going to the playoff. And Mystic Academy will go home. So Mystic Academy has a lot to fight for here. Let's see if they can pull through. I'm excited.
Did we mention... I'm going to repeat what you said because I want to put the emphasis on this as we start the game. I want to mention both teams are currently tied for, respectively, 4th and 5th place. Of course, that tie is going to be broken as soon as one of these two teams wins the match and thus gains the lead. Therefore, we are literally talking about a spot in the playoffs that is stake for this match. The stakes are high. The players are acting accordingly. We definitely saw that on the first map. Second map is going to be, like you mentioned, Villa. Everybody can see this right now. Cursed Ascension attacks first, but will defend should overtime be a thing. I was pleasantly surprised to see how the previous map was finished because, I did mention, right? The defense seems to be always winning. And so it would be unfortunate to just have basically the teams that happens to defend first win the map because they defended first. So at the very last second, Cursed Ascension, as the attackers, pulled a victory out of the map. I enjoyed seeing that, truly. And so right now, we're going to be seeing more or less a repeat of before, right? Hibana, Thatcher, that gives me a sound of deja vu, even if we're not playing on the same map as before.
Yeah, again, I don't know what it is with Mystic Academy hating Hibana so much, and with the Valkyrie ban as well, we might get exactly identical bans. I don't know, I might see Mystic Academy banning Clash out at this point. I mean, you think that's like a rank strat where people ban Clash, but she is actually very, very present on Villa, and especially after the way that Mystic Academy were kind of manhandled by her in the last map. I wouldn't be surprised at all. We're going to see Kaid instead, so much more traditional ban, which means that Clash is still on the board. Very, very interesting. Clash is very useful here, especially on Aviator Games pushes. Clashes love to play inside of study. As long as you can cover yourself from the window to the left of that study room desk, you can really hold that that outside balcony door really, really well. Or even playing from main stairs, or even on 90 hallway. There are a lot of great places that Clash can play. A lot of really hard angles. And narrow hallways and areas that are very confined where Clash can play really well and have a lot of nice support from her teammates. So wouldn't be surprised if we see her come out at all once Cursed Ascension goes on defense. But once again, they're going to be attacking first. So interesting to note, like you said, Oregon, especially last round, very defender-sided. I think we saw 5 attacking round wins out of both teams, all the rounds played there. But Cursed Ascension on this map...
Let me read those, actually. Let me read those. That's interesting. Yep, 5. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's crazy unheard of, even for a map that, you know, maybe is traditionally defender-sided. I don't even know if I want to say that anymore, because I feel like the meta shifts so much so frequently, especially with a predictable map like Oregon. But Villa's in relatively the same boat, I would say, where not as predictable as Oregon. I would say not as frequently played, so maybe not as well known, but still very known. It's been in the meta for a long time at this point. Traditionally defender-sided, but that just means that attackers have had more time to figure it out. As a result, we're seeing basically a very similar lineup matchup go right here with Mystic defending first and Cursed Ascension attacking first. But regardless, let's go ahead. Let's run down the teams a little bit very briefly. We got a Legion. Haven't seen Legion at all these past, or on Oregon at all.
Very true.
So he's new to the mix. Those Legion Goo Mines really going to help, as it looks like maybe an Astro hold. We got a Mira in Devil. We saw a lot of Mira last game. So not at all surprised to see her come back, especially on Aviator Games. You can get some nice lines of sight, play inside Vault really well. You got those C4s or play behind that bar with her. Melusi to slow some enemies down. Weston playing on his pretty standard Jaeger, since he is generally the top fragger. And Natural playing on the mute for some of that anti-breach, since Kaid was banned out. Now on the attack, Lion for the first time. Don't think we saw Lion at all on Oregon. He's already making quick, aggressive work onto Astro, where it looks like, oh, Weston's actually already engaged in a fight. It looks like there's already a presence inside of Astro from the attackers. Weston will fall back, or that's Brios actually inside of Statue.
Gavin's there. He just happens to be on drones right now. That's the guy you were thinking about.
Oh, okay, so that was Gavin getting the shot. Okay. So yeah, he's doing his due diligence droning right now. They do have to watch out. Kaiko's down below. He can make a rotate up basically any stairwell and really catch them off guard. And he's got those goo mines there to kind of give him some intel as well. But speaking of intel, Gavin's going to clear out 90 Hall, and he's going to start to make his push.
Allow me to flip this upside down. Yes, you do have Natural that can toss a Natural Cell to get a kill. He tries and fails. But you have 3 defenders on the first floor. That means 2 guys on site. If we were to have an absolute Mad Lad rush, it would be a temporary 2v5 situation. And you just got to drone out to realize that. And then you have to seize the opportunity in a very short amount of time before the defenders run back up the stairs. As I say this, it's already too late. But from a standpoint, from a point of view of like the possibility that has been theoretically like missed out on, it's somewhat unfortunate because Mystic Academy kind of gave the round away should CA have reacted accordingly.
Yeah, I think they definitely could have taken advantage. Oh my gosh, Kaiko didn't realize that he was in a line of sight, and he will be felled by Beamed, actually. The Flores repelling up just in time to catch him out. Really unfortunate drop for the defenders. And they've done a good job wasting time. Like you said, they rotated back to site. I didn't even realize there were so many off-site. That could have been really, really bad. But they're going to continue to lose more, as then will go Nebsy the Maloose. He will also fall. Weston's still on half HP, so really 2.5 men left alive. But all Weston needs is a sliver of HP and his gun to come alive. But oh, Devil needs a bit more to come alive. He'll be felled. So will Weston. He can't do that work with a gun. No C4 left to deny. Typical plant spot. Natural's going to have to play from below with the SMG-11 in a 5 versus 1. This is an awful defensive start so far. He's going to try to rotate up those middle stairs, but he knows he's going to be watched. He's going to get swung right here from Aviator, it looks like, or maybe the player's just going to hold the angle. He's giving himself away. He's going to try to retreat. He's stunned. There comes the push. Not at all surprised. A flawless round from Cursed Ascension. And Villa right now is starting to flip on its head already.
What can I say? It looks like what's Repo told his players before was a time-sensitive call-out or information or playstyle, because that momentum that they had, yeah, okay, they lost the first map, but, you know, they really used that tactical timeout to flip a momentum on its, you know, on a dime, basically. So that was great, but Repo's work has faded away since, and that round was, granted, a single round, so as far as like momentum or sample size is concerned, tiny, totally no issues there. But they're starting off so strong that even if Mystic Academy were to play marginally better because they're realizing what they did wrong and now they're fixing their mistakes, and now, I mean, their performances are better, instead of having a flawless round, we'd have maybe like a 3v1 or a 2v1 at the end of the round that would still advantage CA. Mystic Academy aren't trailing behind by just a small margin, and that's the crux of the issue I'm trying to express here.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right. CA are just leagues ahead right now. From one round we've seen on Villa, so that's not saying a whole lot, but it's still saying,
True.
You know, Mystic Academy really does have to step up, not just in terms of getting marginally better. They really need to switch up what they're doing, and I think it's like they can hear you almost, because they just made some drastic roster changes. So now Nebsy has gotten off Malusi, Natural's playing Malusi, Kaiko's on Mozzie now, and Nebsy Pulse. So Nebsy now, they had that C4 player down below, but last time it was mute. This time, instead of having anti-breach, they've decided, let them get in, we'll just play hard aggressive below with these C4s. I mean, we've got, what, 3 C4s on the team right now, and at least one dedicated player below, Nebsy, who's going to be watching actually from the master bedroom push. That'll probably inevitably come out onto Astro area. He can try to get some C4 kills from below, and he's got Mozzie down with him as well, so another extended off-site roam. But if they've got these 2 C4s, he can ping these out right here and easily just start picking off players from beneath with nothing they can do, and there it goes! Kaiko grabs Gavin, but he'll be traded out. Looks like there was a player that was onto them so far. Wow, Beamed! He's been absolutely on fire so far these past 2 rounds. He takes out both extended roamers just like that. So yeah, you've lost Gavin, you've lost that intel, you've lost those frag grenades, and a really, really good gun. But otherwise, you've still got 4 men, you've got the man count advantage, and all of your really, really necessary utility, as well as a lot of drones, and those lion scans.
Lack of
intel.
Absolutely
Huge for
okay, don't.
Ascension so far.
Oh, he's pre-placing it. I'm sorry, I thought something was about to happen. He's pre-placing it. Okay, I like what Devil's doing right now. It is once again risky because you're having 1 player less on site, and of course, if CA was to rush, Devils cannot walk back up the hatch. He's gonna have to rotate to the nearest stairwell, which would be pretty easy to shut down for the attack, which would then have basically a defensive playstyle. Okay, the natural cell is pre-placed. The default cam is still up. But right now, thing is, CA are not blindly rushing in and enjoying the numerical advantage. They are taking a breather. droning in and figuring out what's the best and smartest thing to do next. The natural cell is going to blow, but Peeps is no longer there. So Devils has to walk back up the stairs. I know, a natural cell blowing from beneath, that should give CA a fair clue that there's a roam on the first floor. Are they going to flush him out, or will they just wait for him? It looks like it's going to be the latter. Flank watch drone would be perfect. Gavin being dead. I mean, he's on drone duty right now. But Devil rotates back up in a way that is impossible to shut down. Gets a nasty double kill in doing so. The positioning, the timing, both factors coming in clutch. And now, if he pushes in, he could even get the kill on CJ. Pika's advantage and all. Thus, creating a 3v1 situation, hypothetically speaking, against Peeps and turning the situation upside down in a way I didn't see coming. And I suppose you didn't see that coming either. Right now, there's no way CJ doesn't know he's there, right? There you go, right? Pre-fires and everything. But that doesn't mean a thing. You still have to actually land the shot, and that has yet to happen for either players.
Yeah, Devil just going to try to stall him out right here. He's done a great job of suddenly turning the tables on this round. Cursed Ascension really just losing their bite as Devil makes an incredible rotate right there. And CJ is actually still trapped instead. He's going to try to make the swing in, but that Melusi Banshee going to give away his position. It was not droned out properly. It's all on Peeps walking into sight right now into a flurry of bullets, as well as the Melusi Banshee himself, I believe. And he's got it all to do with not enough time. Devil's going to grab a third for his troubles. A great round from him using the Devil Ducky on his Vector. That must be why he's getting so many kills. But nice shot indeed. Nice 3 shots, I should say. And a great round. Great comeback there for Mystic Academy to tie us up.
Gavin, come on. Okay, I gotta say, I enjoy the banter. It just adds another like layer of distraction gosh, I'm looking for the translation for like the one word I'm thinking about in French.
Say it in French, maybe I'll know it.
Divertissement, you wouldn't. It just adds another layer of like what's providing like what's causing you to enjoy this, right? It's, I don't know, of entertainment. Thank you. It's just another layer of, you know, banter, drama, kind of like TV reality show, right? In a reality show, the actual thing that's interesting is like the relationship between the different participants, and that's kind of what you have between players here. The drama, the banter, on top of the actual sports that's happening. I do say sports, I know esports, because esports are sports. If your definition of sports has to imply physical activity, you're going to have to take this up with the Olympic Committee, as they are recognizing chess as sport. Rant over, because I was absolutely digressing. Right now we're going to be seeing a castle. This is not unusual whatsoever, but this implies the extended hold. The rotation of the wall here is not necessarily a given, and of course the idea being the earlier you can see the attackers, the earlier you can shoot at them, and therefore the earlier they're going to start rushing and running towards the bomb site. So if they are going to have to fight for every inch of ground they get as soon as they step foot in the walk-in closet, well, of course, this has the potential to cause them further headaches. But then again, if they do manage to win the gunfights, and if they do manage to take control of the master bedroom area, well, then they're going to have an easier time setting foot on bomb site itself. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, but if your edge happens to be sharp enough, I guess the problem could be solved pretty easily. Might not be the case after all, because that castle barricade is really pivotal in the strategy. So much so that Devil currently has a few extra barricades in order to repair them as soon as they get destroyed, but he goes down!
Devil's hot streak ended. I was laughing very hard when that Flores drone went in, and then he just went and put up another one. That was a classic move right there. But this Flores turns out to be a great counter pick. I mean, this is basically... I was just going to talk about how much I love the Sledge. Oh yeah, no, the reinforce is still open. Yeah, absolutely. Oh no, they got it up. You're right. Oh man, that was very, very clutch from Weston right there. And oh my gosh, the Flores drone. Was that a nade from beneath? Or...
Yep, yeah, that's Gavin.
That was a nade from beneath. Oh my gosh, almost felling him right there. They will manage to get a refrag though, as they take down Gavin, the player below, so those frag grenades will no longer be pestering them from beneath. But yeah, some great response right there from the defense, getting that wall reinforced. Devil trying his best to put his castles up. I love that castle strat. I love seeing it. Unfortunately, it didn't work out because Flores is the new Sledge when it comes to countering castle. As much as that might pain me to say it, because I really want Castle to succeed more, but that's a little bit of an aggression. Anyways, Beamed is in bathroom, actually, so he's not just using his drone, he's using his feet as well to aggress pretty quickly close to the site. He will have to watch Natural, who's trying his best to watch that angle into Astro. Impact tricking coming out right now, And there's still one Selma left and one impact grenade left. So the attackers, oh, they're going to waste it. Boom, they can't get in the walls anymore. They are shut out of heaven right now. 4v4, not able to get into sight as wait. Oh, never mind. There was another Selma that I somehow did not realize was there. Now, they do have a line of sight opened, it looks like. Sorry, blurred there for a second. And it looks like it will be used in their favor from a different angle, but it's just going to be refragged immediately back out as CJ grabs Weston. And we're back to an even man count now with the bits of the wall open. Oh, the player inside of Statuary Natural will refrag though, but again, it's an even man count. They just can't stay ahead of each other. They have to stay aligned, but Natural will grab another one. He's doing the most for his team right now, but CJ, the man, the myth, the legend, he's got his AK, giving away his position though. He'll grab Natural. It's all on Kaiko with that Vector. He's trapped all the way back near Classical Hall on that platform right outside of Trophy. They don't seem to know where he is.
Default, oh my god. Okay, I am so wrong. I thought Default Cam was looking at CJ. I was like, why aren't you shutting it down? CJ's gonna plant, but this is going to be predictable. The red ping, actually, okay, no, he's using geometry at his fullest potential. But yeah, the time, he gets sick. Excuse me, what? Kaiko, you wait half a second longer. Why are you peeking this?
That was the most unfortunately timed pre-fire. You're absolutely right. You can take another half a second. You've got the angle. Yeah, he might have Peeker's advantage, but he doesn't exactly know that you're pushing from that way if you don't give your position away, so he might not instantly look that way. So you've got the time to slow peek him and just shoot him while he's putting the diffuser down. That's a really clutch situation, very, very tense naturally, so you gotta be very careful how you go about it, but ultimately Mystic Academy right there just did not play their hand properly.
All right. Yep. Mystic Academy are making mistakes. Both teams are making mistakes, arguably. But Mystic Academy's mistakes are bigger than their opponents. This shows, after all, CA is winning 2-1. But the broader picture is that Mystic Acad has to shut this down to, you know, to cut the errors that they should know better, right? I mean, Kaiko is absolutely getting reamed by his teammates right now. There's no way it's not happening. He knows better. He just didn't think about it in the heat of the moment. And so this is the kind of stuff that cost them rounds. And when, you know, these costed or lost rounds are adding up, at some point, CA is going to come out on top. They are right now coming out on top. So really, Mystic has to stop acting on their first instinct. And if they can't stop to make these easy mistakes, they should have a pretty easy time on the first half. Second half, when they're going to be attacking, is going to be another beast altogether. But first and foremost, you got to pick up the easy points. You cannot allow yourself to lose those.
I will say, yeah, as much as we can sit here and blame Kaiko for messing up that shot, he most certainly did. He most certainly could have taken that round really easy. Did not. This is something I find with a lot of sports in general, is that, you know, when it comes down to one little mistake that loses you the round, chances are that's not the only thing that lost the round. It should not come down to one mistake that loses the round for you. Now, frequently it does, especially at this level of play. These teams are very, very even. I mean, they're both fighting desperately right now for a double overtime match for a playoff spot, so you know it's going to be very close. You know it's going to come down to individual mistakes that are being made and also individual clutches. But yeah, the rest of the team definitely could have stepped up in better ways. They let that wall get open. They let the flank come out from 90, which I have to applaud Ascension for having that lie-in over towards Classical Hallway. I think it's
nicely done.
Yeah, that was, wow. Beamed has been on a tear today, and he's going to find the opening pick, I think, yet again. Or at least he did a couple rounds ago. Devil on the roam will be shut down. So I'll just go ahead and jump into this round as another one's going to come out for the attackers. Down will go Natural. And yeah, Mystic Academy right now really struggling just to keep the man count advantage even. This wasn't an issue last round, but this round it's proven to be very, very difficult.
Once again, a guy on site dies. Kaiko is off site. So Weston is in a 1v, I'm going to say 4 situation, as you have to have somebody that checks the flank. There goes another kill. Brios with a triple, maybe even a quad. Flawless round for CA. That's the thing. Out of the 4 rounds, they got 3 points. Out of those 3 points, they got 2 flawless rounds. Yeah, mistake may not make a round, a massive mistake, a massive blunder here or there, but the gap between the two teams is still way too massive, especially since CA are on attack, aka the harder side. This is the kind of stuff that you really don't want to give away.
Yeah, you have to wonder if that grueling overtime loss they just suffered, that hallway scene isn't just playing through their heads again. They thought, man, we were so close, we'd be up a map right now. We have all that momentum. You know, you have to wonder if that's really getting at them right now. Now, again, I think if they do wind up, if they lose another round, I think their coach should take a tactical timeout. It may be a
Yep.
bit premature and a bit early, but I think it's appropriate here. If you're down
Defenders,
4-1
protect your
defending
bombs
first
from
on
being
Villa,
defused by
you
attackers.
really need to start turning your game around. You can hope not only that the tac timeout will help, but maybe also the side switch will grant you some momentum. So again, Siege is a game that's all about momentum. Gotta have it in your favor. Gotta get confident with your gunplay and with your kills. And right now, especially after Kaiko botched that final kill back in round 2, or round 3, sorry. I really think he's just second guessing himself a lot. I'm sure the rest of the players on the defense are. But we're gonna go ahead and jump in. Statuary Trophy does not seem to be the site for Mystic Academy to succeed on. So they're gonna say, you know what, fine. Fool me twice, shame on me. We're gonna go downstairs. They got the Pulse. Yes, they do. Not by Nebsy, but this time from Devil. They've got the Thunderbird this time. That's a new op we haven't seen yet. Very, very pivotal in the fact that she can heal. They've taken a lot of chip damage so far these past couple of rounds. So perhaps
Not too many
having-
headshots. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So having that to be able to overheal, but or to heal yourself back up, but also to overheal before you take fights, unless somebody shoots you in the head, like you said, that should give you a distinct advantage in winning your gunfights.
And just now they saw the feat of not West End of Nebsy. They are going to be expecting it. Yeah, there you go. They exactly know that odds are somebody's going to be picking them from that garage, or rather Arch Studio area. Oh no, nothing happens, and now Nebsy's going to see the drone that saw him. I had something I wanted to mention, and the conversation moved past that subject, so allow me to just like be dwelling on the past for a few more seconds.
Absolutely.
It is quite interesting to mention the meta of at which point should you pull your tactical timeout, because yes, it's a one and all, it's a thing that you only can use once, so you would really want to wait till the situation is dire before you pull it. But then again, if you wait till it's dire, as Bean goes down, if you wait till it's dire, well then it implies that you have lost a great many deal of rounds, and that your disadvantage is like even greater than if they were to already use or have used their tactical timeout. Furthermore, we saw in the previous map what kind of magic Repo possesses. Have him talk to you, have him whisper in your ear, and you're going to be in for, well, a momentum boost for sure. So that's the kind of stuff that you would want to use early on, because momentum compounds over time, in a sense. So yeah, it's a tough choice. It's an absolute dilemma to which I don't proclaim to have the answer to, but Mystic Academy seem to be erring on the side of caution, and as such, they're keeping it for later on. But that might, hindsight being 2020, turn out to be a mistake if it was to happen that way. With that being said, kills are happening, so let's talk about the present.
Yeah, so Brios went down. I actually missed how that happened. Beamed actually was down inside of Laundry, though, but thankfully, his team also brought a healer in that Finka. The Adrenal Surge went out and revived him just in time to escape. He's actually danced with death a couple of times, pushing up an Astra right now. And so he's got not only his life, but also his Flores drone. Oh. Some utility work, but from upstairs, it's Weston grabbing Gavin, but it will be refragged as down will go Natural the Mute. So now aggressing onto site, it's Peeps inside of sight. They're at a man count disadvantage, but they're actually going to even it back out, and they've got site control, and another one goes down. Another one gone. It's Kaiko Weston. They're biting the dust too quickly. Diffuser goes down. Now they're in a retake situation, so they basically become the attackers in their own defensive round, and they're down a man as well. This is one of the worst possible situations right now. They also don't have those Thunderbird Kona stations. If anything, those are in the hands of the attackers right now. They are at least getting the red pings. They've got the intel there, but they don't have the intel on all players. That's beamed from behind. He's going to grab at least one right there, maybe two. I could not tell from the kill feed. He'll grab two right there to finish off the round. He's had a great game so far. Absolutely doing loads better than he was in the last round. And so far, it's showing a lot for Cursed Ascension. Now, let's see if Mystic decide to take this time out or not.
I'm gonna keep an eye on the game chat for sure. I am kind of ashamed to admit that, you know, when I'm working the replays, I'm working the mouse, I have missed demands for a tactical timeout once or twice, and that's the kind of stuff that shouldn't happen because it inherently favors the team that is advantaged as is, right? But for the time being, Mystic Academy 4-1. I mean, CA are halfway to the victory, past the halfway mark, as you kind of need an odd number of points to get the W, whereas they only have like the one lowly measly points. This would have been the perfect time to ask for tactical timeout. And at this point, this is like the only other alternative I can see if, once again, I try to reverse engineer their way of thinking. they're going to need a tactical timeout and like a morale boost from their coach even more once they're going to be on attack, because attack is going to be harder than defense for sure. That might be like the one reason why they want to keep it. I do like to see how by using the feed, by opening up a feed hole, the ADS device is going to be able to protect the shield. I like to see this, but then again, Beamed is playing Flores, so is it going to matter? Maybe not.
Yeah, Beamed right now is on an absolute tear. 10-2 over the last 5 rounds. Brios is 7-3. Nobody else on his team, though, has found above 3 kills, which is just insane right now. So you can definitely attribute some of this point disparity between the two teams right now to the fact that you've just got players on CA that are absolutely popping. Meanwhile, Nebsy has forgotten how to find his shots, and he's died to every single round. Devil's doing okay. He's had a couple of solid clutch moments. Natural had his moment, but he was shut down. Weston had some really great kills last round. I think those were his first 2, though, of the game. But they weren't enough to salvage his team to get them to win. That offsite roam really proved not to be as effective as they hoped. In fact, it let the other team plant. And so Cursed Ascension going to look to repeat some of that success. Now, Aviator Games, the only site that's been won so far by Mystic Academy here on the defense. And they're definitely bringing a bit of a change. They got the smoke. I don't know if they had the smoke before. They don't have the mute. They got Legion playing here, just like they did in the first round. And they're already going to lose him, though. Oh, not all those pocketed goo mines. That is not the way you want to start. Beamed adding to his kill count and just continuing this tear.
Yeah, Beam padding the stats, and if somebody does not need their stats padded, that's Beam. Right now, Weston is playing a dangerous game. I mean, Zofia could pretty easily shoot down that deployable shield, as there's no Jaeger device to protect that side of the reinforcements. But it looks like Devil is going to be there to the rescue. Where is Devil? Just peeking that angle. Me likey. Weston also gets a kill. And now Mystic Academy are in the driver's seat, even if by a slim margin. You know, Devil is halfway dead. Arguably so is Beamed. But Beamed in particular needs only a sliver of health to get a kill or 2. I mean, looking at their so-called data, whereas Devil is, you know, hovering around the 1 KD. So yes, not a worthless player, not by a long shot, but nowhere near as, I mean, pivotal to the team as Beamed is.
Yeah, Beamed right now is just really, I'd say, carrying the team on his back, but his team is doing a great job of supporting him. Now, let's see if they can catch out this player here in stats. That's going to be really cool. They know he's there. Oh, the line scan. Timed to take down Devil. He's not going to be clutching up this round, and really it's been off his back that his team's been getting, not carried so far, but getting pushed at least. And now they have complete or almost complete control of Aviator, especially with these walls being busted right through. That's going to put the player inside of Bar in a really precarious position. They will manage actually not to equalize. Sorry, but now they have equalized. It's 2 versus 2 now. Smoke canisters still up. They're going to be smoking out Vault Door as long as Nepsy can cover the back of Bar, and they can keep these smoke canisters coming out. They do have 30 seconds though, and only 1 smoke canister left. That's not quite going to cut it. They're going to have to, it's going to be a close, slim margin to get in and plant in default before that smoke canister takes you out. But especially with Beamed on low HP, it's going to have to be Peeps to get it done, I think, right here. He's trying to get aggressive on the side. He might catch out the player in Vault, peeking not quite in time. Natural burns his last smoke, but he's taken down. That's Beam with a triple, going for the default plant, but no, Nebsy can't grab him in time. The crossfire is there, and Cursed Ascension 5-1 right now at the half split.
And now, I do want to mention this again. I know I sound like a broken record, but they have the easier defense side. How can Mystic Academy pull this back? I truly do not know.
It's just going to be incredibly difficult. I really think losing that overtime round just put them in a big old hole.
You gotta ask for the timeout. It's now or never. Because, you know, even the best team is going to make a mistake eventually, is going to slip up eventually. So knowing that, you know, they will want to keep like a misstep, the slimmest, tiniest margin for error in the process of mounting the comeback. If CA wins this round, they're going to have to pull off a flawless comeback, which is going to be so much less likely than the odds already are, you know? And that's what's kind of unfortunate. Mystic aren't asking for said tag timeout. So, yeah, I will just hope, for their sake, that Mystic attacks the, you know, this map way better than they did have their attack put together on Aragon, or on the other way around. Maybe CA's defense is so much more, I'm gonna say, fragile on here than it was on Aragon before. This is just, I mean, wishful thinking in order to, like, just hope to have the match last for more than 20 minutes. But, yeah, if I had to guess, the stream's gonna be closed in 30 minutes. I don't see how Mystic come out and come back at this point. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm
Attackers are
agreeing with
moving
you
out to
here.
locate
I
a
think
bomb and
they've
defuse
had a
it.
lot of opportunities very
Attackers
close. We
have
talked about
located a bomb.
Tycho's 1v1 mishap. Even that last round they just lost was a 1v2 that started to fall back in their favor. The site when they were playing on Kitchen, they actually had the man count advantage. They looked really solidly in the driver's seat, and they just completely fell out of orbit. So Mystic Academy's had their chances in the last game, or in the last map, and in this one too, and so far they just have not capitalized on those kinds of moments. So I think that's really starting to build up. They're like, man, we're getting so close, but just falling short, and now it's really showing. It's not just like, hey, it's 2-1 right now. It's 5-1 right now. And you know that those close moments, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades right now, because now they got to win 4 rounds just to tie it, and then keep that momentum going for a 5th round to go to overtime, and 6 straight rounds total if they want to win this without dropping another round and pushing this to overtime. So absolutely all to do on Mystic right now. This is attack. I will say perhaps they're not taking their tack timeout because they want to see if just naturally switching sides, they can push it back in their favor a little bit. But yeah, so far they're making slow effort onto site, not doing a whole lot to really try to aggress on walls. They did bring the knock instead of the jackal, which is interesting to note. But yeah, let's see if they can get these kills here on the main stairs. This is really where the main fight's going to be playing out, I think.
Kaiko gets the first pick. That's CJ going down. I mean, he was the elusive roamer that kind of gets notified, gets noticed, then runs away to waste as much time as possible. Gavin gets a kill. Gavin gets a double kill. Now in a 2v4 situation, you're right. They were maybe just waiting to play the one round to know how CA plays so that the coach can then say, oh, this is how we're going to counter their play style. But in doing so, I mean, you're assuming that you're going to lose one more round, which once again will put them in a match point situation. And yeah, you're going to slip eventually. There's no way to win this. But right now, Kaiko walking up the red stairs, presumably undetected. 2 frag grenades. Well, there goes the undetected part of the operation. Frag grenades can be a free kill, but you still have to have them bounce in the right way. There is a bulletproof camera, but he happens to play knock. Not hidden right now. You know, only like the red pings, the constant exact location would be lost. But the rotation is going to be in order, and here lies the issue, right? He's going to rotate, they're going to know, and they're just going to turn their guns to the next doorway. He cannot really gain the advantage of surprise anymore. His range of movements, his range of possibilities is limited, and there you have it. You know, no need to have line of sight. They get it. Rios gets the kill. It's not match point situation. Is the attack timeout going to come out now? It likely will, but it's going to be too late. And here's what I find so disappointing. Once again, a match or a spot for the playoffs is at stake for this match right here. And seeing the team kind of like they don't seem to be trying too much anymore. If you do, pardon my aggressive assessment here. Give it up. Mariel says quit. Just kidding. Okay. Yeah, giving up at that stage does not look good on anybody. And I don't see them trying 100%. Not that they're like forfeiting outright and not playing the last few rounds, but they lost their momentum, they lost their groove, and they seem to have lost their will to play the game. And this is what I dislike seeing the most.
Yeah, and that's always going to be true of best of threes. You've got to have the stamina to stick out all these maps until the end.
Very true.
Absolutely. You cannot just give up after losing one map. I don't care how bad of a loss it is. I mean, this is why you look at NAL, the league. There are teams that are just best of 3 teams. SSG is not one of them. I would know because I've spent many times crying over them losing best of 3s. But you know, you look at teams like I think TSM. TSM really thrives in those environments. Just to use examples that everybody knows, you know, because they're going to have a bad map, they're going to have a bad game. That's why they don't do as well in best of 1s, because it's a bit more up to chance. When it's up to best of 3s, they have that stamina and that staying power. They have the coach who's able to step in and give them that confidence and tell them that, hey, not everything's over. We lose this map, that's okay. Take it in stride. Let's take the next one. And right now, I just don't think Mystic Academy are at a point where they're mature enough, or maybe that they're invested enough to really care and want that deeply. I think you're absolutely right, and I think this round will be telling as to whether or not they're able to even put any momentum. I think they can easily win a round like this, get at least 1 on the board. No way they let Kurt's Ascension take 6 straight. I say no way, but there easily could be a way. Let's see what happens.
So, I mean, kind of like you mentioned, the stamina or the endurance part of things is, you know, if you want to work your stamina, you have to make yourself tired in order to like just keep on going and train your sleep-deprived brain. Basically, that could be a double kill. It's going to be a frag and refrag act after all. And you know, to work on your sleep deprived like mental state, you have to get tired in the first place. And you know, T3 players will not tend to like sit in the computer for 5 hours at a time with everything else that they have going on. These aren't pro players that do this day in, day out. Beam drops down, gets another kill. It still seems pretty fair, right? 3v3 at, you know, the top level. But Devil is super low on health. The players that you lost are your top fraggers, not the top fraggers, Devil's a top fragger, but you know, Weston 4 kills, Kaiko 5 against like 0 kills and 2 kills who are still alive. If you get like if you catch my drift. Also, the top fragger is like almost dead. On the other side, you know, Beamed is not gonna get the to any this game around. He goes down, but Bryos gets the refrag, and now you're truly left with the top bottom fraggers of the team to have to pull the clutch. He's in a 1v1 situation, could do it, but no Peeps with technically I want to say a flick is gonna get a headshot. And I was lagging there. Wow.
Yeah, I hit a lag spike there as well, so I hope I'm not cutting out right now. It's probably my internet.
No, it was me. It was me. It's mine. I'm kind of saturating it with like your camera feed, the screen share I'm sending you, me streaming to like the game as well, me streaming to Twitch. Like all those feeds adds up, and I'm literally saturating my internet connection. So the lag spikes are coming from my end. But let's not let this distract us from what happened.
Yeah, I was still able to see the end there. A great flick from the Maestro. Really, really close. Mystic Academy almost brought it back. If they'd gotten that opening pick onto CJ on Astro Stairs, I think that would have played out a lot differently. They were going for a rush. They were pushing together, but they didn't quite have their guns trained at the same time. CJ got just around the corner, just enough at the exact right moment to fell the first player, so the other player could not finish him off in time. And I think that was absolutely huge in determining who won that round. They lost that round, and they just couldn't carry it through to the end. It did come down to the 1v1 at the end, but their players left alive, like you said, weren't their top fraggers. Not to mention that Maestro, huge flick there at the end, came up big when his team needed it most, and he closed it out. But again, even if they lost that round there in that 1v1, that's not a convincing win for Mystic Academy. You still got to win, 5 more to win actually, no, more than that, because you'd have to go to overtime to win the whole thing. So just not a whole lot they can do there. They definitely seem burned out. Like you said, this isn't their job. You know, they've clearly got other things going on. So completely understandable that they don't have the stamina to lose an overtime match point game and then keep going strong. That's really what's going to separate these teams here, is who has the staying power to finish out that first map and then keep it going through the second. And the answer to that is Cursed Ascension.
So I have sent a quick little question to the players of Cursed Ascension to see if somebody wants to join us for a post-match interview. It looks like CJ will be joining us. So CJ, let's just tell him join the Move Meet channel, please. And they do confirm that he has a face cam, so this is going to be great. But we are just going to have to wait for him to join that channel so that I can then move him. So yes, I will let you conduct the interview, so you might as well prepare your mental questions right now. I say, oh, and CJ is French. Oh, that's awesome, though. Yeah, I can say like, hi, kind of like, you know how like, if you're a tourist in a like different country and by chance you happen to meet other tourists from the same country as yours, well then you're just gonna say like hi. But that's the extent of like the amount of like Frenchy nerd out that we're gonna have right here. So actually Peeps is here. Oh, both of CJ and Peeps are here. Okay, well let's drag them in.
Oh,
Yep.
Hello guys.
Hey,
hey, how you doing?
should I put my face cam?
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah, I was just telling Peep something really quick, and then yeah, I'm gonna let him take the interview.
Awesome.
All right, GG's guys.
GG's indeed. Well, Peeps, welcome.
Thank you.
Congratulations, on the victory. Great stuff there.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, I guess for you specifically, I noticed that you guys, especially on Oregon, did not bring nomads, so not really traditional anti-roam as much. But you were a very, very dedicated Zero player, which I have to respect a lot. I love Zero myself. I was a little sad not to see the SSG skin on there. But regardless, some great Zero play from you. What's that like? Did you guys, is this a strategy you've been running for a while for kind of anti-roam? Just what's that like?
I don't really like playing Nomad on that map, to be honest. It's not like a good pick for me, and I'm very comfortable on playing Zero on that map. Like, how am I playing that? And yeah, I would say it just because it's more like easier for me to watch flank with my zero cam than just like putting some drone. So I'm using my zero cam and my drone to watch flank. So I guess it's the easiest way for me to do that.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah, and it was great work. I mean, I guess another question is that clutch that on the second overtime round on Oregon.
Yeah.
What did that do for y'all there?
I mean, we were pretty surprised that they called to flood the main hall when I guess they think like Smoke was playing elbow, but like the call was so bad to flood all like that. So it was good for us. Obviously, Bryce is so good, so yeah.
Yeah,
We
I
could
think that
He,
tell.
clutch really
yeah,
proved
he's
y'all.
crack. He's crack.
Yeah, that's some of those Zofia kills he got too, just absolutely
Yeah.
insane.
The last round in Oregon was crazy.
Yeah, yeah, you guys just absolutely steamrolled through there. That was a great boost of confidence, I'm sure, from winning that clutch round.
Oh,
I
sure.
have to applaud you guys. Um, so I guess my final question is on Villa. I mean, you guys went, I think, 6 rounds straight without dropping a single round. And you also had some
Yeah.
pretty close rounds there.
Yeah.
So what were I guess just like a general question, what was that like? What were the comps feeling like? How were y'all keeping that
Um,
groove up?
Beam kind of have a half game in Oregon, and he told us that he's gonna went off in went crazy actually in Villa. So that's what he did. He just run up and kill everybody, and that was so easy for us to just play with him. So I guess it was the plan for Villa. Um, Obviously, Villa is one of I will not say our best map, but a map where we are more comfortable on than Oregon.
Don't tell
So
too much now. They're all gonna ban Villa against you in
uh,
the playoffs.
that's fine. That's fine. I don't care. But yeah,
I
I
like the
will just
confidence.
say like Oregon is just more like a off map for us, but we can still play on it and we can run everybody on it, I guess.
Yeah,
I
well,
see.
run
I see.
everybody on it. You did. Um,
Yep.
yeah, GG's to you. I think I'm hitting a bit of a lag spike. I apologize, but
That's fine.
yeah,
Once again, that's me.
congratulations. All good, all good. But yeah, congratulations to you guys. Congrats, you're now in the playoffs. So welcome to the playoffs.
Thank you. Thank
And
you very much.
yeah, I'm
Sure.
guessing y'all are really excited about that. We'll go ahead. We won't take too much more of your time. We'll go
I
ahead
would have one
and
more
let you
question
off
though,
here.
because
Okay.
we, as the casters, talked about this a lot. On Oregon, when they took the tactical timeout, all of a sudden, like Mystic started winning after losing multiple rounds in a row. So in a sense, talking with the coach did stop your momentum that you had at this point dead in its tracks. So
Yeah.
we were expecting them to ask for the attack timeout in the second map at some point. How
Mhm.
worried would you, if they were to use it, that you would have matched a comeback, or were you like confident that even like their great coach couldn't upset the foregone conclusion at this point?
We were not. I mean, we didn't think at it at all. Like we don't really care, I will say, because Villa was more like an easier map. There were like one close round that we play, and I would say it was pretty easier. So we didn't thinking of it at all. I will say.
Got it. Well, thank you so
Like
much.
the
Well,
thank
if
you.
you have anything else to add, go for it. I was just gonna say that's the only question I had for you.
I will say thank you to everyone who watched the stream, and let's go tabarnak.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Um, yep. So thank you so much for having been here. And like Kenner was alluding to, we won't keep you on for too long because at the end of the day, yeah, we already took like a couple of hours of your night. So let's not keep you on for any longer. Congratulations again, and we'll see you in the playoffs.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Take care, man.
See ya.
And so this was pretty much it. I don't have too much else to add. We're gonna have a few more matches for this round, round 7, last one of the playoffs, last one before the playoffs. So really quickly, I am going to go off script and mention that the league goes off script. We did mention that, the flexible scheduling, you have a match to play per week and you get to play it whenever you want. But we are going to enact a more strict schedule for the playoffs because you have to have a lot of of time between the announcements of the match and, you know, when the match is played, to let the players schedule the match. And the league or the season specifically has been going on for long enough that a lot of teams are disbanding, and this, of course, puts a stress on the organization as a whole. So we are going to take, between this week and the playoffs, a 1-week break, because we're going to tell everybody you have to play on this and that date, as the matches are no longer going to be flexible. So in order to like give the players the forewarning to make sure to be free at the time that they're going to have to play, we'll give them, you know, fair warning by taking a week off to have that time to give. Plus, if any other team has like this other league that they have to play, you know, for example, there's like 4 matches in the first round, and those matches can be played at a different time interchangeably. So we're going to try to accommodate everybody's schedule as much as possible when setting the match's time. So this is like the only kind of announcement I wanted to make because, like I mentioned, going off script as far as like what was expected for the season, for the good of the season, I want to say. I never like to change things like that before the... are in the playoffs? We're in the, yes, CJ. You know, let me just repeat that so everybody understands where we are. And Kinder, I'm sorry, I'm kind of like stealing the thunder here.
No, go ahead. This is necessary.
So CJ, yeah, I did close up that previous subject. CJ, look at this. Okay, so this, what you're seeing right now is the standings prior to this match taking place. Do note that Curse Ascension and Team Mystic Academy are tied, right? 3 victories, 9 points, aka 3 points per victory. The tiebreaker, something along the lines of like round 1 against round loss, or like maps 1, you know, that kind of stuff, would give Team Mystic the advantage considering the tiebreaker, but tiebreaker is no longer an option, as suppose that you have 1 more point that has yet to be entered into that table, you're now ahead of Team Mystic Academy. Barring if there's like some obscure map of, say, round 3 that I forgot to enter, which really should not be the case. But I just hate dealing with absolutes because, you know, the 1 in 100 time that something like that happens, the players are going to be like massively disappointed. So you have to apologize over and over again, which is why I'm going to mince my words somewhat, though I truly don't expect this situation to be one of those. All right, Kinder, I've spoken for long enough. Is there anything else you want to add on to that?
No, I think I'm good. I just want to say thank you for having me again. It's been a pleasure to cast. Very
Pleasure
excited to come back.
Pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited to come back for the playoffs. So I'm guessing playoffs are all best of 3 and grand finals are best of 5.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, I will definitely be back, and I hope that the rest of you all will also join us. Make sure you stay tuned. We are taking this week break, but after that, it sounds like we're going to come back with a vengeance, posting a lot of games, trying to get them all casted and streamed for y'all.
That's the point.
Yeah,
that's the
sounds
point.
like it's going to be a lot of fun, so make sure to be there. I will be.
All right, well, thank you all for having been here. And with that being said, before the playoffs, there's going to be still a few matches for this very last round. So yeah, we'll see you maybe even tomorrow, if that, for what it's worth. But until then, take care and bye-bye.